Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to
Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
TexAgs Live.
I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
The best way for us to win is to do it together.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
This one's special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Question.
Ask.
When did having allergies become a code word? I'm actually sick, but I don't want my coworkers to know.
No, I think...
Or is it really allergies?
Yeah, it's really allergies. I think when you move to this part of the state, you learn you have allergies that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm losing my voice.
Yeah.
I didn't feel great yesterday. I felt normal today. And when I say I didn't feel great, I mean, you know, it's called getting old. Nothing feels good ever, right? But I don't think I'm sick. I won't touch you during the show, all right?
Well, you never do.
Well, this is true. No back rubs here on TexAgs Live. Hey, it is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. He's Olin Buchanan. I'm David Nuño. Today is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. And as a backup, if I do end up losing my voice, Nicholas Savage will take over.
Yeah.
And I'll have to do his job, and I'll ruin the show. It'll be great.
Oh, David, I don't think I can do it either. I don't know.
That sounded like John McClane, the famous sports columnist in Houston.
Always sounds like he's out of breath.
John McClane. Sorry, that wasn't good. Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
I was going for more like a John Dutton or something, but anyways.
Thoughts and prayers. All right, so let's get into a little bit of what Coach Elko had to say yesterday. He was on two different talking experiences, one on his show, obviously, and the other with the SEC teleconference. On the Aggie Football Happy Hour, he talked a little bit about South Carolina. Obviously, tackling target areas is critical. How quickly one guy not being where he's supposed to be can alter the course of how a defense looks. So, sounds to me, and the quote says it right there, it wasn't just bad tackling, it was being out of position and bad tackling.
Yeah, I mean, it was being out of position can lead to bad tackling. Yeah, look, it was what you have to step back and ask yourself, do you think, because we don't know, we'll find out in the next 3 weeks, do you think that was a bad night or symptoms of bigger problems? And if they had a bad night, and that happens in the course of a season, no big deal. But we don't know if it's a symptoms of something bigger. They'll win this week, but beyond that, we'll find out.
Here's what I have always thought. You are who you are. So if we look through 9 games of this season, I would say for the most part, tackling has not been a big concern.
Right. Who have you been most of the season?
Against LSU in the first half, I thought the tackling was poor. Part of that was those wide receivers were slippery. They were fast. So I'll give some benefit of the doubt to the athleticism on the other side.
I give the other team credit. Sometimes, I'm sure they would all disagree with me, but sometimes it seems to me, and especially like in that game against South Carolina, that your opponent is just playing harder. They're running harder than you are trying to tackle.
It meant more to them, unfortunately. And I'm not saying A&M didn't come out, but it wasn't South Carolina's Super Bowl. I know when people say that, it wasn't that. That game, any late night game in the SEC matters, right? Any game in the SEC matters, but it really mattered to them. A&M, I don't think they were thinking of Auburn or Texas or the open week. I think they just didn't have a good day.
Yeah, that's what we hope.
You better not have another bad day when you go to Auburn, right?
You can't. You can't have any more bad days from here on out.
Well, that leads to my next quote from Coach Elko on the playoff potential. We have to stay focused on the now. We have to stay focused on what's right in front of our face, and we have to go out there and do the best that we can do against New Mexico State.
Yeah, well, that's true, but New Mexico State's not going to beat them.
Well, tomorrow we're going to release an interview with Coach Tony Sanchez. Very nice guy, by the way. I thought he was awesome. But this is not the same New Mexico State team that beat Auburn last year.
Right.
And Auburn last year is certainly not what A&M is this year.
Both those things are true. But even more true is the fact that they're not New Mexico State nearly the team they were last year. I mean, last year they were really good. Diego Pavia and the tight end. Eli Stowers.
And others.
Yeah, and others. But those guys played big roles. I think they've had multiple guys that left through the
I think half the team left, right?
Yeah.
And when Sanchez was named the head coach, he did not have a quarterback because all his quarterbacks left.
Yeah.
I believe 2 left for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so they had to scurry to fill their roster, and then when they think their roster's set, then they have a second transfer portal, and more guys left. So then he had to respond to that. Yeah, it's a tough break.
It is a tough break. All right, let's go on. Coach Elko speaking about November 30th. You busy that day?
I am going to be busy that day. I'm going to be in College Station, Texas, up 9 floors high in Kyle Field.
Coach Elko says, I think the coaching staff understands the importance of that certain game. Our goal is to get that game and have it mean an awful lot. We still have some work to do to make sure it's done the right way. Understands the importance, doesn't shy away from it, also says we got to do some work before that game really matters how we want it to matter.
Yeah, I like that about Elko. Jimbo used to say, hey, it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's nameless, faceless opponent. Now, I want a coach that knows, especially for that game, what it means to your community, to your school, to the community, to Aggies everywhere.
The other thing he mentioned, and a little bit more on the playoffs, we do not have any margin for error, so there's nothing to get ahead of. Our playoffs start Saturday.
Look, if you don't beat New Mexico State, you don't deserve to be in a bowl game, even though you've already done it. You're going to beat New Mexico State. The playoffs start next week. This is a nice warm up to get you ready for that stretch.
For those who don't know, New Mexico State's not good at football.
They're 2-7 with a win over Southeast Missouri and
I believe it's La Tech.
Was it Louisiana Tech? 33-30 over Louisiana Tech, I think. And Louisiana Tech is really bad this year.
They're not the La Tech that we remember.
That has been really good at times.
Yeah.
No, they're having a down year.
All right, let's do our Heisman Watch. Brought to you by Shirtlift Law Firm. The Heisman Watch is brought to you by Hunter, a friend of our company. We trust him with our legal needs. Call Shirtlift Law today when you need a lawyer for your business or personal issues. All right, OB, we've got the list printed out. Let's get into it.
Not a lot of change from last week. Number 5 on my list is Jackson Dart.
Could he be rising?
Quarterback. Yeah, I think the whole thing is contracting a little bit, right? Well, there's not, in my mind, a lot of difference between 1 through 5. So if somebody has a big week or somebody has a bad week, there can be significant changes up until early December when I have to actually make my vote. But anyway, Jackson Dart is the nation's leader in total offense. And last week he led Ole Miss to a big 28-10 victory over Georgia, passed for 199 yards and a touchdown, and rushed for 50 yards. He's overall passed for 3,409 yards, 22 touchdowns, and has rushed for 304 yards and 3 scores.
He's a solid QB. He's good.
Yeah, he's really good. Number 4 on my list is Travis Hunter.
I think you're kind of turning the corner on him a little bit, no?
Well, lately he's really done. He's really been more productive than he was early, and it's been against better teams. But anyway, he's an often two-way player, as you know. 9 receptions for 99 yards and a touchdown in Colorado's 41-27 victory over Texas Tech. He ranks 10th in the nation with 69 catches for 856 yards. He's got 9 touchdown catches. As a cornerback, he's posted 21 tackles, broken up 7 passes, and has 2 interceptions. I don't know if he played defense last week. If he did, they must have stayed away from him because he posted no stats at all.
All right, number 3, I think, has no chance of winning now, although he was in the driver's seat. I wouldn't say no chance. They'd have to win out.
He'd have to do well and maybe somebody slip. But Cam Ward, the Miami quarterback, Hurricanes had their first loss last week. He wasn't bad. He threw for 348 yards and 3 touchdowns, threw touchdown passes of 74, 38, and 8 yards. Leads the nation with 3,494 yards and 32 touchdown passes. So, he's still right in it.
He is right in
But
it.
this week I had to put him third on my list. Number 2 on my list is Dylan Gabriel, the Oregon quarterback, top-ranked Ducks. If you're the quarterback of a national championship contender, that usually makes you a Heisman contender. He's thrown for 2,848 yards and 22 touchdowns. Last week, passed for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 39-18 victory over Maryland.
Yep.
And number 1 on my list, do you disagree or agree? Okay. Ashton Jeanty, the Boise State running back, increased his nation-leading rushing total to 1,734 yards and a 28-21 victory over Nevada. He rushed in that game for 209 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was his 4th 200-yard performance of this season.
So this came up on the show yesterday. People who dismissed Boise State, their only loss this year came against the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
It was by a field goal, I believe.
Right. And Jeanty had like 192 yards, something around that, maybe more than that. Maybe it was 198, but he had a huge game against Oregon. And quite frankly, Boise State would have won if they could have covered a kick.
Right.
Because Oregon returned a kickoff and a punt for a touchdown in that game.
Hey, where are we?
We are in the cool zone.
Yeah, that's brought to you by Holistic Planning, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
If you want to invest in pro sports, go to investinprosports.com. These guys, investment, tax, estate, and NFL, NBA, you name it, they'll help you invest in pro sports.
You invested in Real Madrid yet?
No, not yet. No. I'm waiting to add a couple more sponsors to the show before we do that.
Didn't you say that they're kind of having a down year?
They're having a down start. I mean, we're in
Buy
second
low,
place.
buy low.
His team is in first place. My team is in second place right now.
Really?
Yeah, in La Liga. Yeah, and we're not doing well in Champions League, but I think we just lost our entire audience. So if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it multiple ways. You can call us, 979-693-1150. We'll pick it up on the Boss Firearms Hotline, or you can text us on the Little Sluggers text line, 979-693-1150. Little Sluggers is age-appropriate baseball fundamental classes in Aggieland, Houston, Austin, Brenham for kids 2 to 8. Sign up for a free trial at cotosports.com. That is COTOsports.com. We go behind the glass and once again say hi to the Nick Savage. Nick, good morning.
Happy No Rules Thursday, y'all.
Whoa, sorry, what?
It's a Callie Garner thing. I don't know.
No Rules Thursday?
No Rules Thursday. Don't ask any questions. But yeah,
You said no rules. Why would I not ask questions?
Well, one rule: don't ask questions.
Oh,
don't
so it's
ask
already
about
one rule Thursday.
No Rule Thursday with one rule: don't ask about
Fight Club.
No rules. Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, big basketball game coming up tomorrow night. A ranked matchup. I guess the last ranked matchup would have been sometime last year in SEC play. So, I hope we get to see a pretty full Reed Arena. Hopefully, folks are coming up, a night early that are going to the game tomorrow or on Saturday, I should say, to see this Aggie basketball team, and it's a chance to bounce back from that UCF loss and get a big statement win early on in the season. So, looking forward to it.
If they win, Aggie basketball wins tomorrow. It doesn't erase the UCF loss, but it certainly feels like, all right, bad day at the office, we're back at it.
Yeah, well, look, it was a quadrant one win. As Ohio State projects to be so much better, it could likely stay a quadrant one win all year. So, yeah, great opportunity.
And Josh tells me it's the first ranked non-conference opponent to come into College Station since 2016. So it's been a while since we've had a non-conference ranked game.
First ranked
Really?
non-conference opponent.
Huh.
Iowa State was the last one, according to Josh.
It's 2016.
Okay. I remember that Iowa State game.
Yep. We've had some bad stats recently, but I'm going to trust Josh on this one. I think I'm going to trust him.
Okay.
I made Callie laugh. No Rules Thursday. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. That's where we find Juan Marcos. Juan, good morning, buddy.
Howdy, guys. How are you?
Doing well, man. You also always have a smile on your face.
I mean,
you're a happy guy.
It's a great day to be alive,
Every day is.
Yeah, I saw him coaching that powder puff football, and he didn't always have a smile on his face.
Was he like a grumpy coach?
He was the Bill Belichick of powder puff football.
But you know what? Bill Belichick won.
Yelling, screaming.
Did he? His last couple years?
Obscenities.
No.
Your team didn't win the championship, right?
We lost 6-0 in the final.
Oh.
You're not Bill Belichick, bro. Sorry.
Belichick,
Maybe he's Bill Belichick at the Browns.
Belichick came in second a couple times with the Patriots. I remember, unfortunately, them losing to the Eagles one year.
Belichick was with the Browns and then for a day with the Jets, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Rome wasn't built in one day, guys. So
no,
it takes time.
Yes,
it takes time.
Like this hit right now is taking a long time.
Yeah,
let's get into it.
Got a text here. Says, "Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
If the Aggies are thinking any farther past New Mexico State, then they're messing up. One game at a time. Get the one right in front of you. If they're thinking about Texas, it's going to be a big mess up. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that."
I think you could play your third string and beat New Mexico State, in my opinion.
I do.
This is not Appalachian State. No. This is not a team full of veterans. This is not a team. No, in Appalachian State ended up not being very good that year. But
yeah, I know they lost to Texas State.
This team is coached well. Here's the thing. They need to do exactly what you just said in that text, right? But we can look ahead. It doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, I would be using New Mexico State to try out some maybe things I want to see against Auburn.
Okay, but you don't want to try out too much because you want to catch them by surprise.
Well, I guess, but I want to be, I just want them to.
Like if Tyler White's going to be the running back.
Yeah, you don't want to show them that.
You don't want to show them Tyler White at quarterback or running back. What else do you have for us?
Well, Texas A&M volleyball team returned to the win column as it swept Oklahoma Wednesday evening.
Good.
The Maroon and White's efficiency was the difference in the match as they recorded 42 kills on 81 swings with only 6 errors. So good win for Aggie volleyball.
Great win for Aggie volleyball. Thank you very much, Juan. Appreciate you. You know what's coming up next?
What?
You call him the nicest man.
Logan Lee, the nicest guy I've ever met.
Who does have I don't want to say a temper, but you don't. He's such a nice guy, but you don't want to upset him.
Yeah, but see, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Anybody can be a nice guy if
I think you're a nice guy.
Yeah, but anybody can be a nice guy if if you're not, you're going to get pounded into oblivion.
You know what you are, right?
What?
You are probably the nicest guy I know, and the quickest temper guy I know. Next to me.
I think my temper has
it's chilled.
Has chilled, yes. But anyway,
So's mine.
Yeah, of course it has.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the last time you threatened to beat somebody up. It's been a while. It's been a long time.
I don't fight people anymore. I'm all about now that I know how to kill. I just
You just wait to kill them.
Yeah, there's 3 hunters involved at TexAgs. You got Hunter Shurtleff, who's going to be on the fan show later. You got Hunter Goodwin, co-owner, and Hunter Nuño.
I was going to say Nuño the Hunter.
Okay, if you call me Nuño, we're going to have problems.
Nuño the Hunter.
Thank you. All right, we're going to hit a break here. When we come back, Logan Lee will join us on a mobile. He's going to be on the phone. He will not be in studio. Right now, let's talk a little Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com. Use the code TexAgs. Receive a guaranteed $50 once you play in $5 lineups. Have you played Prize Picks?
Yes.
Have you played Prize Picks?
I have not.
Okay. Do you like to have fun?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you like to make money?
My middle name is Mardi Gras.
It is?
Yeah, Olin Mardi Gras Buchanan.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I love to have fun.
Do you like to look at sports, watch sports?
I do.
Do you like seeing stats hit a certain number, like, oh, yes or no, I don't want that to happen?
Absolutely.
You could play Prize Picks. They're going to give you $50 to play with once you play $5 lineups.
Yeah, it sounds great.
You have to use the code TexAgs, though. You have to.
Well, of course I would.
Right.
I would go without saving.
And they also have the World Championships coming up as I get my notes out there. That's coming up. Prize Picks will take you to the crown November the 17th. You can win it all. Free lineup to win. $5,000. It's free to enter. Just lock your pick by 12:45 Eastern on Sunday the 17th. It is a Prize Picks World Championships. 12 celebrity captains and their teammates will go head-to-head. PrizePicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs. Is Prize Picks.
What's up, TexAgs? This commercial break is brought to you by my good friends over at Aggieland Chevrolet, the official automotive sponsor of TexAgs.com and me, Billy Lucci. Greg Gunn is the proud owner of Aggieland Chevrolet and invites you to visit the dealership to experience true Aggie hospitality. From their friendly staff to the experienced service team, Aggieland Chevrolet is TexAgs approved. Check out the dealership off of Highway 6 in Bryan or go to AggielandChevrolet.com and tell them Billy Lucci sent you by.
And we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. He's Olin Buchanan.
I am.
I'm David Nuño. Yeah. Well, you called me Nuño earlier.
Nuno.
Yeah, that's not going to fly here, buddy.
Hey, Nuno. I'll never do that again.
Let's go to the Boss Firearms hotline. Boss Firearms currently has a 12% off discount for all LMT defense products online. Use the code LMT12 at checkout and save some of the best parts in firearms today at bossfirearms.com. And with that, we are joined by our dear friend Logan Lee. Logan, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Allergies have got the best of me. How are you?
I'm doing well. I miss being in studio with you. I'm sorry I couldn't get there. Things happened this morning, and I was fully planning on being there just so I could see y'all interact because I miss y'all's interaction.
Well, we miss you, Logan Lee.
The nicest person we know.
The nicest person in the world, unless you're a certain recruiting analyst.
I would pay to see that.
So Logan, your early impressions of this Texas A&M basketball team.
Man, I like them. I was frustrated with the UCF game just because they're a veteran team and they should have been able to pull out that game and get a win on the road. But it in the grand scheme of things, with everything that they have coming up, that game isn't going to be a make or break for this season. I'm really looking forward to Friday night. I think it's going to be a good game. I think that's two really up and coming good teams, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a brawl for 40 minutes.
Doug and Logan Lee here on TexAgs Live. Logan, what about the new additions? Right, the Pharrell Paynes, the Zurich Phelps, CJ, like this. I feel like these guys have been here for a while, but they haven't. I mean, Phelps just started playing. He missed part of camp.
Yeah, and that's a shame. I think A&M beats UCF on the road with Phelps in the lineup. He changed. I didn't realize how much he changes the speed of the game and the intensity on offense that he brings. I knew he could score the ball. Everybody knows he can score the ball, but man, he's electrifying. He's super quick. He gets up and down the court. CJ Welcher, he's done a job so far. They brought him in to knock down threes, and he's done a good job of that when he has had the opportunities to do so. Pharrell Payne, he's Josh Nebo-esque. A little more offensive firepower for Payne, a little less defensive presence, but I'm interested to see how Buzz really utilizes him down the road, further along in the season when they get everything, when they get their bearings straight and they get everything set. I'm interested to see how much he's utilized at the offensive end of the court.
Buzz has so many options now. I've seen him doing a lot of different lineups, and at one time, we said they had Phelps and Taylor with three bigs. Logan, what lineup? What set of five do you like? Have you been most impressed with, or if you put back on your coaching jersey and your whistle, what five would you start?
I don't know what five I would start, but I know that from what I've seen and the progression I've seen with Solo on the offensive end, I wouldn't mind seeing Wade, Phelps, Solo at the three on the perimeter, because with Wade and with Phelps, you have a ton of firepower and you don't need that three to make 100% of his shots. Put Solo at the three, put Andy at the four, and then put Payne at the five. And that is a long, quick, athletic lineup. Again, that's just what I can envision the team growing into. I mean, that's probably not right now, but man, if you put that lineup out there, you have a lot of athletes, a lot of speed, and a lot of defensive presence to go along with Phelps and Wade firing up shots and getting to the bucket.
Logan, I could see Solo being guarded by most threes and having no chance because his power, his physicality, and his speed too. Like that would be an interesting matchup. When you look at this roster, two-part question: how many guys on this roster you think will play in the NBA, and how many guys you think can play professional?
Oh man,
gotcha.
NBA,
G League, NBA. We'll make it G League / NBA.
G League / NBA, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Professionally,
a bunch, right?
I think I'd venture to say 7 or 8 can play overseas. I mean, here's the thing. There's so many teams overseas, and there's so many different divisions. You know, they have 1, 2, and 3 divisions per conference, per league, per country, wherever you're at. And even in that third league, you can make $80 to $100,000 in the bottom leagues and have a career that's 7 or 8 years. And while not too many people would know about you or be able to follow you because it is the lower level, that's a great living. You get to expand your horizons in different countries. I mean, I think our teams from my era, I think I played with probably 15 different guys that played overseas. We had a talented group, and we were deep, and a lot of them took the opportunity to go overseas and play, even if that's the Dominique Kirks of the world, who he played 4 seasons overseas, and he just left because he was tired of dealing with it, and he came back and wanted to start his life. Like, he could have played longer. He could have played in more spots.
Yeah, so there's a lot of depth on this team, right? Do you compare it depth-wise to some of the teams you played on?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. I do. Do I think that this team right now could beat some of the teams that I was on? Probably. But I don't think they were better than my teams just yet. I think they have a chance to be much better than what we were, just because the way the landscape of basketball has changed, and we were super physical, and we had some offensive firepower, but nothing like what the guys on this squad can provide, and the landscape of basketball has changed. The way you play has changed, and I think Buzz has done a good job of assembling a veteran team with going to the transfer portal to get what he needs to win games at this level, and they're gonna be good this year. I'm super excited about this season because they're gonna be good.
What area would you be a little bit concerned, or is there an area that you look and say, okay, they look good, but I'm a little concerned about this? Maybe there is nothing.
I think their post presence on offense, to be a well-rounded team, you have to have that balance. If you look at any of the Elite 8 teams, the Sweet 16 teams, they have a decent balance of scoring with your post presence and scoring with your guards. I'm not worried about A&M's defense, although it can be frustrating at times, giving up so many open threes. That's just how they play, though, and that's what they're built to do. So you got to live with it because that's their style. But I think their post presence on offense, not that it's lacking, it's just that they haven't utilized it, and they haven't showed to utilize it. And I think that's an area that they can vastly improve on.
Logan, we appreciate it, man. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely, guys. I'll be in studio. I'll be ready to rock and roll.
Looking forward to it, man. Thank you very much. Logan, see you. Logan Lee on the Boss Firearms Hotline. All right. We haven't done this before, OB. Okay, we always talk about these lunch scenarios at 1775. And I think Stephen McGee, because he's usually joining us, we always invite him.
Right.
McGee, Logan, Nuño, OB. What will we talk about?
So McGee, Lee, OB, and
Nuni.
And I'm not going to say Nuno.
No.
That'd be an amazing lunch at 1775.
I mean, the food would be the best part of it.
Of course.
What are we talking about, though? The food.
The food.
Yeah.
Cause the last time we went, that's all we talked about.
And I didn't.
Did you try this?
Do you remember? I wanted to have a meeting about like business stuff. We were trying to hire people. We were trying to do this and that, and then we just get like, oh, you give me more.
Yeah, it was just like, can you believe this good? Look, try this. Oh, this is amazing. I remember saying these pork ribs. I have a place in East Texas that I always said was the best ever. I said, wait, I might have a new best ever.
Well, and then when you fed me the mac and cheese, it was a little awkward, or queso mac and cheese, I should say. That was a little awkward, but I'm just kidding.
Did you?
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see your response. 1775, open Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until they're sold out. 8203 Raymond Stosser Parkway in College Station, 979-492-6241. That's 1775txbbq.com. So I guess I'll just do a bird dog spot here. McGee's asking me about the hunt, and I did shoot one. We were looking for the snipes. We couldn't find those.
They're out. It's not snipe season. They're not rutting yet.
Oh,
you gotta wait for the rut.
We were looking for them. I was like, "Where are they, guys?" I'm like, "Just keep looking. Keep going."
I think next, David will be in the helicopter with you shooting at hogs.
I'm in. All right.
Yes, that's the.
And if you know Jonathan, like Bird Dog is an amazing company. I was going to talk about them later. BirdDogIt.com for hunting experiences. Man, we had a private chef. We had Roger Krager. We had fellowship, friendship. It was all, like these guys. I'm not like OB. OB's like, he talks to everybody. I kind of stay quiet. These guys all got my number. Like it was cool. It was a great event. OB's awesome. OB does.
You do.
I don't mind talking to people, but you're just more proactive about it.
Just say hi,
You're a nice guy.
You're from East Texas. You say, hey, neighbor. Hey, yo, derelict.
And well, everybody knows him. He's a Tice Tiger
dude.
Yeah.
7th grade B team quarterback.
No, man.
18. You were 18.
Yeah. I was the man.
Wow. How did I even say B team? I meant 18. Yeah. Hey, and you're all in on hunting now.
I'm all in. I need a bunch of wealthy friends, but yes, I'm all in. Because it's not a cheap
we all do.
hobby, right?
It's not a cheap hobby at all. Yeah. It's expensive to be a hunter.
But it's fun. Oh, my God. And again, my favorite part of it was just being around the guys. Like, it's not a locker room, but as close as you can be out and about,
Yeah, you have a little time by the campfire, tell stories.
Yeah.
Well,
they all had cigars and wine and whiskey, and I had water. It was fun.
What is it about a campfire that's just, it's hard to beat?
It
is. You got that cool weather.
Somehow they have this image of that scene from Blazing Saddles.
I've never seen Blazing Saddles. I know.
I saw it in the 1970s. I don't remember it.
Oh, man.
Dude, I wish I knew your reference right now. I hate it.
They're all flatulating around the campfire.
Of course they are.
That's not my favorite part.
Of course they are.
By the way, how are you?
We're great.
Good,
yeah.
Man. So he was just telling us, Juan Marcos was just telling us at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, little drama with Lane Kiffin. Did you see this?
Oh, no.
So I'm going to let him set it up. I didn't know this until 5 minutes ago. Juan, tell us the story.
So Lane Kiffin, Mike Elko during the radio show last night, when he was asked about the night game on Saturday, he said, quote, "Another night game at Kyle Field. We appreciate those. Apparently that's all we play anymore. We get them all the time, and Lane just wants more, so that's okay. Him and I will swap next year or something." Kiffin, on X, formerly known as Twitter, says, "Trade you anytime, coach. Not fair to our fans. By the way, check out QB play and scoring at night, home, and on the road." So, some beef going on there. I don't know what else.
Why is it like? I want to like him sometimes, and then he does this crap.
Well, what does that mean, though? Is that
I think he's taking a shot at A&M's quarterback play on the road. That's how I'm hearing it. I thought Marcel Reed was great in Florida.
But QB play at night. So last I checked, we had great QB play. LSU here.
I think you're talking about on the road.
At night at the road, but how many night games on the road they played?
They had South Carolina, and I don't think Marcel was a huge problem. I mean, he had the turnovers late, but that's the problem was the defense in that game.
For sure.
Florida, Marcel was great. That was daytime.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State, Connor wasn't great. Daytime.
We got a big one coming up, though. Auburn.
Look, I don't know how many times I've been to Auburn to see bad Auburn teams beat A&M.
I know.
And you know what? They always come up with a trick play, and A&M always falls for it.
And you call it in the press box. It's coming.
Dadgummit, don't let it be. Don't let it be. I can't. We have to beat Auburn. I'm scared to death of that game. I know we got some time, but the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, man, this is another setup game for us.
That game scares. I was saying it this week on the show. I'm more scared about that game than I am the Texas game. And it's not a shot at Texas. It's just the reality of playing on the road in the SEC at a place that you have struggled at.
With 18 to 22-year-old kids that have a tendency to be complacent and look up and be like, all right, man, I'm not going to prepare with the same energy this week. Yeah. I'm not going to take my meeting with coach, my film room time as serious. But with Texas, you don't have that concern. Everybody's going to be hyped up, ready to go. But with a team like New Mexico, I'm not worried about New Mexico State, but you get my point. It's like, hey, they're worried about, hey, what are we doing after practice? Is my girlfriend coming over? Are we going to go play Xbox? Are we going to go bird hunt? It's like all the distractions start to creep in. You're not 100% honed in.
And my reaction to that would be if that debacle in South Carolina if that doesn't change your mindset or get your attention, then you don't deserve to be considered a championship team.
Yep.
I mean, if just 2 or 3 weeks after what happened at South Carolina, if you aren't focused going to Auburn, then you don't deserve it.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, I would say I feel as confident as ever about the team's preparation with a guy like Mike Elko at the helm.
I agree.
I'm all in on him, as you guys well know, but I think his ability to get the most out of kids, all the distractions we've had this year, the way he handled the quarterback controversy, I mean, all the things that could have broken apart a team, and here he is. Notre Dame week 1 loss, as bad as that was, and now we're sitting atop the SEC. If there's a guy to believe in that can get the most out of 18 to 22-year-old kids that are paid a lot of money nowadays, that have a tendency to be prima donnas, I think it's that man right there, Mike Elko.
I know that there's people listening now upset because one guy is like, you got a 1 game at a time. Well, and that's not a shot at New Mexico State, but New Mexico State's not a good football team. And it's okay for the host of the show to talk about the what-if scenarios.
Yeah, that's our job. We get to do that now. I mean, obviously, you would never want to hear anybody talking about Auburn across the street, but I don't think they are, in fairness to them. I think it's our job to sit up here and kind of play the what-ifs and look out and have fun. And, yeah, hey, we could go 3-0.
Could.
Can you imagine this place?
I expect them to go 3-0.
I do too.
I'll say this. I am reasonably confident they can go 3-0 because we know that New Mexico State is overmatched. Auburn, you're a better team than them, that you have to show up. And Texas, quite frankly, I know they're good. I don't know how good because, quite frankly, they've been given every advantage. I mean, you talk about night games on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is playing Arkansas at 11 a.m.
Yep.
They had a day game against Vanderbilt. Of course, Vanderbilt, you didn't know that they were going to be as good as they are, but they're still not great. So has Texas played a night game away from
I don't believe they have.
They haven't. They played Oklahoma at like noon.
Yep.
So not that Oklahoma would have mattered. Plus,
smells like mail-in ballots to me.
Not to them. It's not a knock on Texas, but they've been fortunate enough.
It is a knock on Texas. Let's knock on them all we want.
Yeah, but
can't stand those suckers.
But they were fortunate enough to play against 3 freshman quarterbacks making their first collegiate start.
Oh yeah, it's
that's why I'm just saying
it's never set up more beautifully for a team than Texas this year. It's a complete joke. It's like I'm not going to go politics. I already did it once, but I can't do it. I'm not going to do it.
Hey, I would take that joke though. I'm just saying because next year on the road is going to be tough for A&M. But let me ask you this: if you get decent quarterback play at Auburn, decent, right, and the defense that we've seen for the most part this year, they win that game, right?
Yes. Yeah, I totally believe. Look, man, Marcel Reed is a threat, and I'll say moving forward with Moss out, it's going to be imperative that we get great quarterback play. But he has the potential, especially with that athleticism, to do some things in the run game that I would be concerned about without Moss in there. Right?
Yep.
It's not a knock against Daniels. I think he's a great player. I think he's got some explosiveness out in space, but between the tackles, you've got to have. We've talked about it in weeks past too. Quarterback run game, you've got to get him carries, right? They're going to try to get the ball out of his hands, but if you do backside zone, frontside zones, and you make the defensive end's life miserable trying to pick out where the running back's going, where the quarterback's going, and then let Marcel get on the edge in the run-pass game, right? We talked about quarterback keepers. Put them in 5 wides, right? Get easy throws. Like, hey, here's a hitch route. If it's single high, take it all day. They drop in, 2-man. Let's go, baby.
Right.
It comes into like a de facto quarterback draw. But keep the game fast and simple. Tempo with Marcel. Don't try to do too much with a young quarterback, but let him use that athleticism and just line up and play, right? It's hard for me because I'm more of an analytical quarterback. I like to say, okay, hey, get up here and you do run-pass kills and, we're going to move the protection here. That's not Marcel's game, right? Marcel's game is just let him be an athlete, let him play, let him be free. If they do that, if they can find a way to make him play like Lamar Jackson, we'll beat Texas.
Yeah, I think I go back to.
Let's hit a break here. We'll come back. Varsity Grill House time. Look for the perfect spot to satisfy your food cravings. You need to go to the Varsity Grill House. God, my voice is awesome. That's where I get the ribeye tacos. They're so delicious. The burgers, everything that they have there. When you go to Varsity Grill House, it's going to be a classy place where you can watch sports, you can have a good time, but also take your wife undercover, like kind of a fun date. She'll be like, well, are we going to a sports bar? No, we're going to a nice little restaurant. You will enjoy it. The food is great. The atmosphere is awesome. Varsity Grill House, your home for good times and great food. Hope to see you there. We're back on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations, our QB1 from Paragon Financial. Stephen McGee with us, OB, obviously. All right, guys, let's do a little buy, sell, lease. Which coach would you rather have lead your program?
Mike Elko.
No, those are the buy, sell, lease options.
Oh, okay.
Because it is going to be Elko. Sark, Kiffin, Heupel. Buy, sell, lease.
Oh, man, that's some good ones. I'm going to sell Kiffin for sure. I've just never believed. I've said this a long time. I think he is a great offensive scheme guy. His teams always put up yards. He reminds me of a different version of Mike Leach. Teams are always competitive, but never win.
Yep.
Never win. They're never more than 9-3. So I'm going to sell him. Heupel and Sark. The question is, does Sark maintain his...
Does Heupel win with Sark's roster? Yeah, I think so.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'd have to buy Heupel and sell Sark. Yeah, I think that's the right... What are you going to say?
I don't mind giving credit where credit is due. I would say the buy guy there is Sark. When you consider... And look, I know both he and Heupel took over bad programs. But, he's done a heck of a job.
He has. He really has.
And I'm still curious about Heupel. He got Hendon Hooker in, and they were great. This year, if Florida doesn't fumble on the 1 yard line, they lose to Florida, right? Yeah. And I keep hearing how great Nico was going to be, and I think he's okay.
Yeah, talented, like a lot of arm talent, but just not a lot of production when the lights come on.
I'm not sure. I would say buy Sark. Actually,
I think I might buy Kiffin.
I'd probably buy Kiffin. I think Kiffin's the kind of guy. If he's your coach, you love him.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's more impressive what he's done at Ole Miss than what Sark is doing at Texas. When you consider,
you should win at Texas, and you should win
with that schedule
to some degree.
But let's remember where Kiffin's been.
Oh yeah, but
I thought he was good at USC. Remember, he took over when he had to coach with all the restrictions from the Reggie Bush.
Hey, and also, can we look at the whole body of work? If we're going to do it with Kiffin, Sark was a 500 coach coming to Texas.
That's what I want to say. And if you look at the full body of work, I think that the argument would have to lean toward Heupel. But I mean, I'd still take Elko out of all three.
I would take among you three. Now that I think about it, I would take Kiffin to buy, Sark to lease, and I'd sell.
And that's not to say that Sark has not done a fantastic job. He has. I mean, there's a lot of pressure to be at Texas and first year in the SEC. But I can poke holes in it because that's what we're allowed to do.
I'm talking about just in terms of coaching.
Yeah. All right, we got to hit a break here. Yep. Thank you, OB. Sticking around for Swopey?
Yes, I am, David.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. It's TexAgs Live. the stylish hour, apparently. Swope coming in. What is that? Burlebo. Stephen McGee's with us. Ryan Swope's with us. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse and CC Creations. I made this as a joke in the first segment, but is your algorithm again?
It's my algorithm. It's Wagley. Wagley and Paul, you know them.
Yeah.
They just burn up my Instagram algorithm.
I don't think I'm sick.
Yeah, you sound like
but
allergies.
I'm calling it allergies. That's what everybody calls it when they're sick, just to make sure they can go to work still.
Yeah. It's that first cool front of the year, or well, I guess technically it's the second, but
Hey, at least you're not wearing a mask. That'd be weird.
This is I'm kidding.
I'm just being honest.
Hey, so I didn't get to talk to you guys last week. I don't want to do too much South Carolina talk because we're way past that. But considering what happened last week, or I guess that would be the prior Saturday, and where we are now, how do you feel about what's left here for A&M in their schedule?
I mean, I think we've got a test in front of us, to be honest with you, but I think we can pull it off. I think we've got a really well-coached football team. Obviously, losing a running back hurts really bad. So that's going to be kind of a piece of the puzzle, trying to figure out who can fill that role. But I'm optimistic. I think we've got a really good football team. I think they play hard. I think we just need to, execute, tackle better, and then obviously just make some big plays. Who's going to be that guy that we can lean on?
Yep. So. Who not named Marcel is going to be the explosive playmaker on offense, right? That's the big question. And then can a guy like Bussey get involved in the run game maybe to pick up some of the load there? He's had some moments, but
do you think it's going to be Bussey, like toting the rock, like hitting?
I don't, but I think that
can they use him in an Ananias kind of way though?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's
like
jet
sweeps and like motioning and like kind of like a bubble screen, just get him the ball in space.
Yeah, and then Barber, right? I mean, that's the other guy.
Yeah, he's so good, man.
To me, that was one of the bright spots coming out of South Carolina.
100% agree.
Those little looky routes, man.
Oh man, and he had a feel for it too. Like he'd the void, he could slow it down, and him and Marcel were kind of grooving.
They were.
Oh.
Yeah, and he kind of was that security blanket. When you had some pressure quick in the pocket, it was right to Barber, right? And the other thing too that played in nicely is that when you look at Marcel, he invites different defenses than most quarterbacks, right? Because of the threat that he has as a runner. And when we were in no-backs, they were lined up. South Carolina, this was 5-0 up front.
I know.
5-0, which means they played basically 10 dog, which no help on the inside.
Yeah,
so for a guy like Barber, if defenses are going to try to rush the quarterback,
you pray for man coverage, man. I mean, you just win.
That's the Swope route.
Yeah,
that was the Swope route versus Oklahoma that we watched. Remember?
Yeah.
You put that little eye on him, and you took it to the house. It was unbelievable. Sorry, I'm drooling over here.
That's all right.
It's on camera, too. We had a close-up.
Hey, edit that. Savage.
Hey, you know what's funny?
Love it.
Not funny. It's just interesting. Jabri leads the team in receptions. And this is a guy that missed time.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
I think that's impressive.
Fact check me. I believe he has 25 receptions, and Noah's got 24. I might be wrong. Fact check me on that. But
how many games now? 4?
He's played more than 4 games. He missed the first 2, I believe. There we go. 25 receptions. Yep.
That's our leading receiver?
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know whether to. Okay. Well.
And I mean, here's the thing. You know this.
I mean, that's exciting, but also
we had this bet. This is the exact conversation we had on the couch last week was, how, like, if I gave you 2 weeks to prepare, like, would you go out there and play? Like, what's your price tag to have to go out there and play? And Swope was like, dude, I'd do it for free right now. Like, sign me up.
Right.
And of course, I'm like, dude, there's no price tag. Like, I don't want to get blown
I need
up.
2 weeks. Give me
but
2
he's like, but you got to get your legs underneath you. And for Barber, I mean, that's like the deal. Like, this dude, you're injured, and I'm thinking about like Ruben Owens. Like, is this guy going to be available at the back end of the year? But like getting your legs underneath you as a runner it's hard. Like, it takes time to do that. That's what training camp is normally for. And so it's been even more impressive. And I think you've seen him get his legs underneath him the last couple of weeks, especially like where he's even more productive and more involved. And I think this offense has got to lean on him in the pass game to get some of those explosive plays. But it's going to have to be the Marcel Reed show. Do you disagree?
No, Marcel's got to come to play, and we got to protect him. Our offensive line kind of got whipped in that South Carolina game. So in order for him to have a good game, we've got to pass block. And we got to run the football well. But,
that's why getting Chase Basantis back soon better happen, right? Like, especially by Texas.
And that front for South Carolina is good.
Yeah, they
Dude, that
are.
true freshman they have off the edge, that guy can play.
South Carolina was they're a well-coached football team, and they're talented.
Well, they played a great game.
They're a much better team than their record indicates, in my opinion.
100%.
Now, granted, their weak side is that, and I know he had a good game against us, but that offense is going to be limited with that quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he just cannot. Like, it was tough watching him throw. But he made plays. You got to tip your hat to the kid. I've never seen
he kept
that many missed tackles.
It's unreal.
For a kid that was sacked 25 times going in the game, for us to not be able to tackle. So,
we were in
all
position.
that to say, what's my takeaway defensively? It wasn't that we were in or out of position or having big busts. We just didn't do the fundamentals of football, which to me comes down to playing with a chip on your shoulder.
Yep.
You get more hats of football. You play with an attitude. Like, hey, this guy's got to go down. Like, I'm gonna hit this mofo right between the teeth, right? I mean, like, that's the mentality you got to have.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Elko's going to do that. I think his team's going to bounce back. I think we're better for it.
I agree with you. I agree with McGee. I think we're in a good spot, and I'm curious to see what we do this weekend. I think that all that'll be fixed. It'll be a great, test game leading up to Auburn, just to kind of tighten all the screws down and make sure that we're, tackling, doing the fundamentals, and executing all the little things that are most important that win games.
Well, then finding your identity,
Coach
right?
Elko, yeah,
Like,
finding your
offensively,
identity.
try some things out that you were like, hey, like I want to see how our offense. How do we handle this, right?
Yeah.
In a game situation where, in a normal week, you can do that, right? You're you're like, hey, I got to do X, Y, Z, but like, hey, maybe we try a no huddles in the middle of the second quarter. Tempo. We go 5 wides the whole way down there and just see how the offense handles it, right?
Like fly.
And then
like,
maybe
boom,
you
boom,
find some spark, right, that you don't have now that you're, lose your best player on offense, in my opinion, with Moss. It's like, hey, like,
we got to try something different.
we got to do some different things with Marcel.
In every loss, you can point at a play or two or a situation or two that isn't normal of why you lost. So when I say this, it's going to kind of sound a little hollow, but if you tackle in that game, the game plays out differently.
Dude, that second play when we had the quarterback.
Scooby had him. If you get that sack and now you're 3rd and 16, and
totally agree.
And it just changes the way you play that game. Beyond that, I'm sorry, if you score in the beginning of the 4th quarter and not throw that interception, it's a 1-score game. You lost by 24 points. It felt terrible. But we all know that game, as bad as A&M played, was closer than that with the last few minutes.
1,000% it was. That was a much. I remember Swope and I were watching that one on the couch, and 3 drives in a row, I felt like, in the second half, where we're like, all right, here we go. We're going to go down and score. We're down 10. We kept saying it, right?
You talking about South Carolina again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're up there yelling, remember?
Yeah, well,
this dude gets
when am I
into
not
it. Like,
yelling?
if you've never watched a football game with Swope, he watches football like he plays it. Like, dude, it's full go. Waking up all the kids in the house was amazing.
Yeah.
This is a true story.
What did Kleeman's daughter say to his mom?
I think the next day she was like, "Man, that Swope guy's really loud."
Yeah. Mom was like, "Hey, how was the Daddy had over Mr. Swope and he was really loud." But yeah, I mean that's the deal. Like, you kept thinking we were going to get that drive. Now that one, I would say the one bad play from Marcel obviously was that it was, in my opinion, it's RPO. He's reading the end. The end stayed there. He tried to do too much. He should have just handed the ball to the running back. He pulls it. Now the end's right there, and now he's trying to get rid of it. Throw that ball 3rd row of the stands. Never should even be close. It's a bad decision. But he's he's 19 years old.
He's a baby, man.
That was his first interception.
But I don't want to hear anybody say that the reason we lost that game is because Marcel Reed. No, I mean
the defense.
We lost all 3 phases. Let's be honest. We got our tails kicked up front, and we lost on defense, not being able to tackle. We did a lot of things really good, I felt like.
Yeah.
But you got to go back to fundamentals. I mean, you got to block and tackle if you're gonna win in this league. And
I agree.
So I'm looking at the numbers. Wide receiver-wise, Jabri leads the team with 25, Noah with 24, Cyrus Allen with 17. He's a guy I'd like to see get the ball a little bit more.
I like Cyrus Allen. I thought he had a big 3rd down conversion in that game.
Big one.
He's had a few drops here and there, so I want to clean that up. But I think he can stretch the field vertically. We lack speed.
But dude, tell us, because you were the wide receiver with our quarterback that I can even think that comes close to the athleticism that Marcel has with Johnny, right? The thing, unlike a quarterback like myself who's just stuck in the pocket, where the ball's got to come out in time, we've seen Marcel create. But what does that do for a wide receiver group that can't get open on time? We saw how many completions for explosive plays that were extended.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's the beautiful thing about a quarterback like Marcel or a Johnny is if you're a receiver in that system, I mean, you can make your money, man. I mean, if you continue to play and find the void in the defense, you're going to eat. And that's what I was able to do. And you just got to continue to work and find that space and have a feel for it, because a quarterback like Marcel Reed can keep the play going for an extended period of time. And it just creates opportunity as a receiver. You might not win your route, you cover it up, but next thing you know, Marcel Reed's coming around the corner and he needs a guy, and you break open to the deep ball and he chunks it to you. So, I mean, it can happen just like that. And it's, what
were y'all scramble rules? Were y'all like the shallow guy goes deep,
guy goes
deep guy comes
shallow,
and then the middle guy stays middle?
Stays middle, yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, we talk about this often when we're watching ball together. We're like, dude, I wish I could have gone a game with Swope.
Right?
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
You should see us on a golf course. I mean, you know how.
Yeah.
It's 10 cup situation. We're going for it, baby.
Yeah.
We're either winning or we're losing.
If it's 250 or 260,
let it eat.
We're gonna let it eat.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm not, because I can't hit it 250.
But he can.
But he can with his 2-iron.
We're all gonna try.
Do you guys think, with Le'Veon gone, and I know there's been a lot of emphasis on Amari, and we'll see what E.J. Smith can do, but that the tight ends might get more of a look offensively? Because I felt like in the beginning of the year they were going to the tight ends, and it's kind of dropped off a little bit.
I think they should.
Well, the tight end always presents. I don't think any of our tight ends are necessarily mismatches in just normal. Like, we're not going, hey, like, we've got to get our tight end X catches. But to me, where it happens is in the personnel groupings, right? The 2 tight ends out in the field, which is 12 personnel. What does that invite? More base defense,
right?
Which means more slower guys. So if you have a linebacker on a tight end like Trey Watson or Theo or whatever, that is the opportunity for a mismatch. But combine that with the athleticism and the threat in the run game with Marcel and Daniels. Now you get a linebacker with eyes in the backfield, and now you can get an explosive play to a tight end. So I don't look at the tight end position as, hey, we're going to drop back and throw it and find the mismatch, even on a nickel linebacker like a Jason Witten or somebody. I view it as dictating via the play action and the personnel groups to scheme guys open. There's an opportunity. But I also look at it as, let's go 12 personnel. Let's go 5 wides. Let's put the tight ends on the outside or the running backs on the outside. So if they want to play zone, now we've taken their best cover guy, i.e. the corner, and put it on who? Your least athletic wide receiver, right? Which is going to be the tight end. Now who's on the inside with mismatches? Noah, right? Barber. Now they're lined up either on a nickel or potentially even a linebacker if it's trips formation, right? So there's a lot of ways in which I feel like Colin can create mismatches with personnel groups. And
you should be a coach, man. You ever thought about that?
No.
That's all
my wife asked me right when I got cut, and he's like, "You ever want to coach?" And I was like, "Nah, baby, I can't sacrifice the family, dude. That coaching life,
it's not. Yeah,
it's a grind, man.
Oh yeah.
I respect. People don't realize how difficult it is to be a coach.
Oh, it's so hard.
I mean, everyone, when you finally make it to the top, like Mike Elko, everyone focuses on the contract. But how about the 30 years prior to that?
Exactly.
When they made nothing. And they were grinding the same way.
And you don't see your family?
Never see your family. The
don't
families
get to go
always
to
take the
games.
sacrifice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it for me. I was like, dude, I can't.
Yeah.
Could you do it?
No. I want to be with my family, man.
Yeah.
That's why he is a coach. He's got, can I say it now?
Yeah.
He's got boy number 4 coming.
That's so awesome.
The dude, he's going to have a full five-person basketball team.
I know that life, brother.
Pump the brakes, bro. Pump the brakes.
His foursome now has a 5th. They're going to have to get permission from the head pro to play full family now. Dude, this dynamic is getting crazy. That family, I'm telling you, man, it's the most athletic kids you've ever seen in your life. Like, they have full Swope DNA.
Yeah.
No, he's just being nice.
No, I'm not being nice.
I can't wait to see.
Holden can throw a football. He looks like, I was about to say Connor Wigman throwing a football. And then looks like, Drew Brees back there tossing the rock. And then their golf swings, just admit it, dude. Their golf swings are incredible.
They didn't get it from me.
How old are they?
4 and 3.
Twins are 4, and then my youngest.
Twins
is
are already
3.
4?
Yeah, can you believe that? It's crazy, man.
Holden chips it in the backyard. They have a little chipping green.
Yeah.
Holds it out like straight, like Michael Jordan style. Unbelievable, dude. I
can't wait for this little McGee, man. McGee to Swope.
My kid's going to be in the spelling bee contest, which is great. I love the spelling bee contest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everyone's talking about how great of an
He's going
athlete.
to be a baseball player.
Bronny and I are on the sidelines watching.
Don't do it to me. Keep my kid out of 12 baseball. Bronny, do not recruit my kid. I do not want to do travel baseball. No. The one no for me is travel.
Fine. We'll recruit for travel soccer, which is just as bad of a grind.
Out.
No.
We're not doing it.
Boys and girls can do it. It's great.
I love this.
That is not happening in our household.
He's gonna be a quarterback, man. He's gonna be special.
Hey, whatever your kids want,
really
you'll
hope
do.
so. I will. I'll be all for it. I'll be behind whatever they do. But man, if he could throw a rock, that would be pretty fun.
Hey,
that'd be awesome.
Before I let you guys go, have you looked at all at the CFP rankings where they are right now? 3 Big Ten teams in the top 4. There's a chance that only 3 SEC teams get into this. A&M ranks at 15th. Yes, 15th.
I don't look at it because I get mad just thinking about it. Indiana fraud, Miami fraud, BYU fraud.
But do they deserve to be in based on the way the rules are?
They do technically, but deadgummit,
I mean they're
gonna get blown out if they play. I mean, I feel like we
Ole
are.
Miss plays BYU, it'd just be bloody.
The only way A&M makes it is if we control our destiny. And I'm not even sure on this situation, but if we control our destiny, we go 3-0, right? So we're in. But then we're in the championship game, right?
Well, somebody said that the committee said they won't penalize you for losing in the SEC championship game. I don't know if that's really.
I get nervous about that.
Yeah.
I don't trust that.
I don't
feel
trust that, man.
Being an Aggie, I feel like we're going to find a way to get screwed like we did back with
100%.
Mon. Remember that?
Yep. Well, I do.
We'll make it.
Does Texas get in if they lose to us?
Yes.
They do.
Oh, of course they do.
If they win out. But they still have Arkansas and Kentucky.
Dude, that's like people showing up to vote without an ID.
But
Texas is going to make it, dude.
But who is Texas? Who's their signature win if they lose to us?
Nobody. They don't. It's Texas. They're in.
Their best win is Vandy, who's not ranked at the moment.
It has nothing to do with quality of win for Texas.
Probably gets in.
No.
Yeah. Serious?
They've
been getting their way ever since.
They got smashed. Georgia dismantled them. And we're talking about a Georgia team that's going to probably have a decent chance of having 3 losses.
That's crazy.
That is crazy to think about.
But that Georgia team might get in with 3 losses. Might.
I could argue that would be the most palatable one for me.
I'd argue that. I could, and you probably ask every other top 10 team if they want to play Georgia, they'd say no.
No, hell no, dude. Now, if they figure out what's going on at quarterback, they have a good football team, dude. That defense, I do not want to play that defense.
Yeah.
By the way, Craig Bennett's listening. He says we're always looking to add some more 12ers.
No, sir. I had to take his. I was in graduate school. I had to take his class. That was enough. I checked the box for the family. No baseball in this fam.
Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate
it, buddy.
All right, let's talk about FBS Appliance and their team of experts. God, I hate this voice. Are here to help you find the appliances that make your house a home. They carry all the top brands that make your life much easier. They can fit any budget. They've been caring for Texas since 1988. They have Bosch. They have all the brands you can imagine, expert staff, trained installers to guide you through the purchase. FBS Appliance wants to be your trusted appliance store. They have 8 showrooms across Texas. They got one right down the street from here at TexAgs, right on Wellburn. Check them out online at factorybuilderstores.com. That is factorybuilderstores.com. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in. As a reminder, the final segment of the show is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We'll hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave, serving Aggie Land since 1984. They have your favorite pizza. They have your favorite world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. It's time for Around College Football, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. With that, we go to the Boss Firearms Hotline. AT is joining us. Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Online, and of course, Fox Sports Radio. AT, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. David, so first of all,
here it comes. I know it's coming.
Little source told me that I had to ask you where you were last Thursday.
Yeah.
I was told it was out of your comfort zone. My first guess was a bar crawl, and I was told that was inaccurate. But I was told it was work related. So this isn't like, I can't. Maybe you can't answer. Maybe you got to plead the fifth. I don't know, but
I can answer. I went. It was a work event with a client.
Yes.
I went on my very first hunt of all time.
Oh.
And it was incredible. It was fantastic. Ooh. Bird Dog, one of our sponsors, took me, and I had a blast. So I wasn't very. I didn't grow up around firearms. So over the last year, I've been learning how to shoot, and it's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. I'm not gonna lie. Brawny made it sound like you were smuggling something somewhere that it's not supposed to be. I don't know. I mean, he made it sound much worse than it was.
Well, no, the movie The Mule with Clint Eastwood, that'll be me one day, but that's just not what I'm doing right now.
Okay. That's for the sponsors in the 10 o'clock hour. Okay, I got you.
Hey, buddy, we didn't get to talk. South Carolina took it to A&M. A&M had a lot of issues in that game. Everything's still right in front of them. So just after an open week where there was a little bit of, not that much carnage in college football, just your thoughts on what what's still possible for this Aggie football team.
What's possible, listen, what's possible in theory is everything you want. Listen, Brawny and I talked about it last week. You went out, you're in Atlanta. You, just a second ago with your previous guest, brought up what I think is the most interesting conversation that nobody wants to have. By the way, preview of my show today. I think this college football playoff, we all thought, nobody will have an argument. If you can't make a 12-team playoff, there's going to be no argument that you shouldn't be in. It's like, okay, well, tell a 10-2 Ole Miss team that. Tell a potentially 10-3 Texas A&M team that. And I think there is so much. I don't think it's going to be a fulfilling approach to get to 12. Like, I think once we get the bracket, it's going to be awesome. We're going to fill it out. I don't know if we'll do bracketology, whatever. But there's going to be so many teams that feel like they got robbed. I think there's already kind of the negative energy out there of, well, who's Penn State played? Well, who's Indiana played? Well, and I heard you guys talking about it. You're right. Texas, who has Texas played? Who, what happens to a 2-loss SEC runner-up that loses a third game in the conference championship game? To your point, you can say that the committee says they're not going to punish teams losing in the conference championship game. But, I'm trying to think of a hypothetical here, whoever. Let's just say somehow, some way, let's take Texas A&M out of it. Let's say somehow Georgia gets to Atlanta and loses a third game. How do you put Georgia in over an Alabama team that they lost to? How do you put them in over a 10-2 Ole Miss team that they lost to? And of course, then the argument will be, well, Georgia, they're getting punished for playing in the conference championship. So I bring it up to very simply say, I know I went in a million different directions there. The good vibes for A&M is that they are one of the few teams that completely controls its own destiny in this thing. But I think we're headed for a not very fun, final weekend to put together that bracket.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that 3 teams may make the college football playoffs from the SEC. I guess 4 is possible. Sure. But if you start doing the math, you're going to need some more carnage in the Big Ten, right? You're going to need Penn State to have another loss. Does Indiana drop one outside of just the Ohio State game? I guess there's a lot of things that are still possible. I look at that 12-team projection as of right now, and I know a lot has to happen. And I'm like, I think these teams deserve it based on what we know right now. But I don't think those teams are necessarily the 12 best teams in college football.
Well, it's such a great point. Such a great point. And that, I think that more than anything, these are the unintended consequences. And I'll be honest, you think about all of the different things over the course of the summer leading into this 12-team playoff experience. What's it going to be like? The one thing I don't think I fully realized was imbalanced schedules, are not going. That's maybe the right way to put it. The imbalanced schedules are the part that is not going to lead to a fulfilling championship Saturday and bracket reveal on Sunday, because how do you punish an 11-1 Indiana team whose only loss is at Ohio State? You probably can't. And by the way, it's not Indiana's fault that Michigan stinks and Washington stinks, the two teams that played for the national championship that they've beaten in the last month. The counter to that is if they didn't stink, maybe Indiana wouldn't be 11-1. I don't know. But, you look at the ACC, Clemson, Miami, SMU, all atop the standings. None of them play each other. You look at the Big 12, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State atop the standings. None of them play each other. Even in the Big Ten, I'm not a huge Ryan Day guy, but they somehow draw Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana, and the other three don't draw any of the others. So I could go on, but I think I think my thought and your thought meshes. One is that I think the imbalanced schedules are going to lead to a scenario where, as you said, we're going to get a bracket where I don't think anyone's going to sit there and say, well, darn it, these are the 12 best teams or the 11 best teams plus the conference plus the group of 5 champion, whatever. It's going to be an interesting deal.
Does Texas get in if they lose another game? I know they will because they're, number 3 on the list? They will, but their best win is Vanderbilt, who's currently not ranked.
Sure.
If you want to say Michigan, okay, Michigan was 10 when they beat them, but if you're taking a snapshot from far away.
That's got to count for Indiana too, right? That's got to count
100%.
as a good win for Indiana.
100%.
Yeah. No, and, this is another variable. This is another variable that I think is going to make a lot of people angry. And I feel like I'm negative Torres here on a Thursday. I love college football. I love where we are. But I think it's really starting to crystallize. Like, there's a lot of unintended things that I don't think we fully realized. And the other thing that I do think, brand bias is going to be a real thing. I think it's a great point by you on Texas. I think, by the way, I already saw the arguments this week is like, well, if you stack up Tennessee's wins versus Alabama's wins, it's like, but Tennessee beat Alabama head to head. And I'm seeing people make the argument that Alabama should be in. By the way, Georgia, Ole Miss. I don't think Georgia's that good, but I will say you have the win over Texas, and so that's the other thing that I don't think people have fully kind of it is going to set up. We think that there was brand bias in a 4-team playoff. There really wasn't. I mean, there was maybe a year where Ohio State gets in as an at-large or Bama gets in as an at-large, but I think this year it's setting up where, again, Georgia's going to get in because we think they're good, but are they really good? Have they done anything outside of 4 quarters against Texas? When, by the way, how about this? The game against Texas, the offense, Carson Beck threw 3 interceptions in that game. So I know I'm repeating myself. I know it's a dead horse. I don't want to be all negative because this is a great sport and it's a fun time of year. But I don't think that people have fully realized, oh, crap, Selection Sunday, as I said, Bama might get in over Tennessee. Georgia might get in over Ole Miss. Texas, I don't know how that would work with Texas A&M, but you get the point.
I think Texas is in if there are losses to A&M, because A&M in that scenario hopefully beats Auburn, and that's a game with.
But
top.
David, you say that, but if Texas loses to A&M, by transitive property, if Georgia finishes 10-2 or 10-3 in the SEC championship game, you got to put Georgia in, you got to put A&M in, you got to put whoever ends up being the SEC champion in. Now, maybe those two teams play each other and it offsets, but you say that, but are they in?
But so they're number 3, right now. So that's a major drop. If they lose to Arkansas this weekend or to Kentucky, I think that changes the scenario. Let's move on to Colorado, who actually has a chance. They keep winning. They might win the Big 12, and that could you have 2 Big 12 teams in the tournament?
Let me ask you a question.
I'll answer a question.
Okay, this is maybe in your wheelhouse because you've covered Texas sports forever. Has the tortilla thing at Texas Tech always been a thing? I never remember it before this year.
Oh yeah. The Mike. Okay. I remember it when I was in college. Yeah, I don't know if it's always.
Yeah. I know you've covered games there and stuff. I don't ever remember it. Now Texas Tech has been pseudo irrelevant for about a decade plus now.
Yeah.
So I don't really remember it. But okay, Colorado. So tortillas, Colorado, they're good. Listen. Travis Hunter's probably going to win the Heisman. Shador's going to be the first quarterback off the board. The big thing with them, and I know when I say they're good, someone's going to get in the chat on YouTube and say that they'd be an underdog against 13 SEC teams. Well, guess what? The Big 12 gets an automatic bid as the current playoff stands. I think it's probably going to change in 2 years when the contract's up, but they get an automatic bid. They'll be favored in their final 3 games. I don't know if they would be favored at Jerry World in the Big 12 championship game. And the one thing I will say really quickly, it's not a gimmick. It's not song and dance. Last year, it was fun for a few weeks and they weren't a good football team. Shador's, I think, the best quarterback in college football. Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman. Here's the thing. The defense has gone from like 133rd nationally to like 66th. They're top 20 in college football in sacks. They got real dudes along the defensive line. Again, I'm not saying if you put them on a neutral field against Georgia, they'd win, but they are a significantly improved team in a conference that they have a chance to win.
AT, got to drop it there. Thanks, buddy.
I know. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Have a great day.
You too, man. Aaron Torres on the Boss Firearms Hotline. We're talking Heritage Films. The website is yourheritagefilm.com. They make documentary films about families, family businesses, family ranches. I know many of you are listening to the show wondering, why would I want to do that? Well, I think there's a couple reasons. A, it's very therapeutic. I think it's an amazing bonding experience to have with your family, and it's a story that you can share with the next generation. That's what a heritage film is. It's a 2-hour documentary that's going to preserve that story with the voices of the people involved, right? Your grandfather, your dad, your uncle, whoever it may be, your family business, your family ranch. You can also do a year of flicks and channel your kids' 20-minute kind of Q&A style video about their time at A&M. Freshman year, do one for their sophomore year. So many different options with Heritage Films. The website, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341. It's Heritage Films. School's in session with Jim Turner here, brought to you by Duck Camp. Duck Camp gear is made for people that live for the moments out there where there are fish to catch and birds to hunt, time to kill, football to watch. Check them out at duckcamp.com. Coach Turner, we're going to talk about the setup, the communication to get plays started between the center and the quarterback.
Yeah, so just like anything, right, when you start every play, when the center approaches the football, especially today, because today you can see 3 down, 4 down, or 5 down on any given snap against any team. And you'll see it this weekend. So it's just the setup of every play. He's going to put things in categories 3 down, 4 down, or 5 down front, just talking about the front. And that really starts the blocking, the thought process for all the linemen is how we're going to block this play.
All right, take it away, sir.
Great. All right, so let's just look at this, right? So there it is, 3 down, 4 down, 5 down. Okay, so if you look at it, right, I'm just going to show you here, right? So on this clip, okay, so, and just so you understand, right? So how do you figure out if it's a 3 down front, a 4 down front, or a 5 down front? It's this simple. If there's one man in the guard-to-guard box, so you can't ask the center, right, to look all the way out here on the hash, or he's got to look out at a safety. He doesn't have the time, right? So that being the case, right, he just looks right in the guard-to-guard box, and it's going to tell him the structure of the defense. Right, so if there's one player in the guard-to-guard box, and that's one defensive lineman, he knows it's a 3 down front, okay? And so defenses are built that way, right? It's a 3 down defense or a 5 down, which are similar, almost the same personnel, or it's a 4 down defense personnel-wise, right? And so it just sets up the mentality of the calls we're going to make and where we're headed. So guard-to-guard box, one player, that's a 3 down front. Okay, if it's 2 players in the guard-to-guard box, so you can see, right, it can be an over front like this. It can be an under front like that. These are both 4 down fronts. Both defensive tackles can be the A-gaps. Both can be 3 techniques in the B-gaps. It doesn't matter. 4 down is 4 down. Okay, you have 2 players in that box. And then the scenario for 5 down would be if you have 3 players in the guard-to-guard box that are defensive linemen. If that's the case, it's a 5 down front or a jam front. Right, and so they have signals for each one, right? So like 3 fingers would be there for 3 down. Okay, the thumb up would be 4 down. The fist would be 5 down for me. Okay, and that's just because you can't hear, so the running back and everybody else needs to be aware of what you're calling the front. All right, but that's a pretty good look at it right there as far as just categorizing, okay, the fronts. These ones right here, so 3 down and 5 down, okay, are almost identical twins. Just one of them's a little bit heavier than the other, right? So this is the skinny, okay, 3 down personnel, and this is the heavy one right here. When all they're doing is they're taking the 4 technique defensive ends and moving them to 3 techniques, and that's a 5 down front. The reason I say that is because this front and this front are going to have a lot of crossover calls because it's the same defensive personnel that you're going up against. All right, so let's just take a look at it. And this is just, I know this is fuzzy for you, but just real quick, right, so you can take a look at it. Just so you understand, right, just look at these categories up here. Look at this one right here. So this is just max protection right here. Right, so this is 1 protection, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different protections right there. But when you break it out for the line, right, you can see if it's 4 down, we got the 4 down and the mic on this protection. If it's 3 down, we have the 3 down, the plug and the mic, and that will be an odd call. 3 down, the mic and the rush, and that will be a Rhonda Linda call, or 5 down. We would call jam 5 on 5. You don't care about all that. All you care about is this. This is just a way, when you look at it, right, that's how you organize their thoughts right there. So really on all those protections right there, you can group them so that they all fit right into that right there. And so now when you're coaching them, you just say, listen, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different protections, but they're all grouped into those 4 different categories right there. All right, so the 3 down, the 4 down, and the 5 down. So it really simplifies things for them when you put it into that perspective right there. Let's just take a look real quick, right? So you can see. So all you've got to do right now is this. If you just go here. So again, just like I said, right, you're going just like this right here. Just like I said, okay, you're going here. Let me just fix this for a second. Watch now. So if you go like this, all you're going to do is look from the guard-to-guard box. So if you just look right there, right, in the guard-to-guard box, how many people do you see right there? Okay, you see 2 people. And so because there's 2 people, that's a 4 down front. So that's 4 down, right? So that's in a 4 down category. So watch now. When that being a 4 down category, right, here they know right now the type of calls are going to be called by the center. Like right here, we're running tight zone to the right, split four, be a single, be a B block. They know when you say 4 down, those are the type of calls that are coming right there. All right, so there's your 4 down. Now watch this. Let's just say we were throwing the ball. And so I'll just use 2 plays right now when I'm talking like this. Right now I'm using inside zone to the right. Okay, or I'll just call jet protection, which is 6-man protection, 5-step straight drop back. So right here, right, they would know 4 down. Right, they know 4 down, they're going to get Ringo Luckies. Okay, usually Ringo Lucky calls. The back knows we're going to block the 4 down, and we're going to go Ringo or Lucky to whatever player we're going to go to. All right, whatever player the center designates. Now you go here, right? So this is still a 4 down front, even though now, right, the 3 technique is playing inside. This is an under front. I'll go through that another time. But if you look in the guard-to-guard box right here, right, you can see in the guard-to-guard box for the center so that he can get the call done quickly. Okay, there's your 2 players. Okay, and when you see the 2 players in there, you know it's a 4 down front. So right here, right, we're running inside zone to the left, okay, with the man scheme. So this would be 35 Charlie M when he knows he's going through. Either way, they know right now they're going to have a single, they're manned up on the backside, and they know that certain calls are coming with it. Let's just say you called 6-man 5-step straight drop back. They know it's 4 down. If it was 2 jet, we call Lucky to him. We'd have the 4 down in the mic. The running back would have everybody else. All right, that's your 2 4-down fronts in general. Okay, now you're going to go like this, right? So the next front, okay, is going to be a 3-down front. You can see it right here. So when you look at this right here, you know right now as a center, you come up. I'm just looking guard-to-guard box. And when I look guard-to-guard box right there, I know right here, okay, there's 1 player in there. So you can see
more
you got
of that
the 1 player,
coming up
1 defensive
on
lineman.
TexAgs Live, or excuse me, TexAgs.com if you want to finish that. Plus, he goes into some deeper things. That's much longer. I think we have, at least another 15 minutes of that, Nick? So go to TexAgs.com. You can check it out. We're going to hit a break. We'll come back with Gerrod Chadwell. Right now, we're talking Rollo Insurance. The difference is real. They're an independent insurance company built around educating you on exactly what you're paying for, doing the shopping for you so that you can accomplish all of your insurance goals. They can write any form of insurance to anyone, and they take care of my family. My family's been using them since we moved here, and they can do it all. They can bundle it for you, your house insurance, your car insurance, farmers insurance, ranchers insurance, you name it. They want to take care of you. Business owner insurance. Their priorities are God, family, and country, and that is what they at the core of everything they do. Go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs to learn more. rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs or call 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. We're back on TexAgs Live. Gerrod Chadwell in studio. What's up, man?
I'm good. Are you
I'm
need me
okay.
to lead this? You mean to ask you how are we doing?
Honestly, so Allie asked me if I could do an interview later after the show. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to have a voice.
But this is going to be your Jordan moment, though. You're going to rise up from the ashes on Saturday and be Superman.
Well,
Batman.
I hope there you go.
Batman.
You're speaking my language now. Hey, the number 2 recruiting class in the country.
Yeah, baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it 4? Did you sign 4?
Four young ladies. I think the ranking is great. It just, that's a byproduct of them competing a lot and playing well collectively together. But the fit for our program and for Aggie Land is what I'm most concerned for, most happy for.
I told you this at the break, and I mean it. Like, you're building a national power. I mean, you've done it 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And the pipeline seems to be pretty good.
I was talking to Pitt Singer, our sports psychologist, this morning. I was like, I don't celebrate wins as much as I should. I probably don't celebrate this as much as I should, but it's pretty cool to see when you're sandwiched in between Duke and UCLA all the time, because that wasn't really here before. And, I'm constantly reminded we've taken somebody's seat away from the table the last 3 years at, the national championship. And so I hope that continues. It's a lot of fun, and it's the memories that those runs created, bring those young ladies back together on Saturdays. And, it's a bond that you can't create just by being on the team. So
I hope our audience and folks across the street are paying attention. This guy's got the team. You've got it. What you're doing there, what Weaver's doing, there's
we're
my
knocking
buddy
on the door.
Corton, you got a good group over there.
We're knocking on the door, and I don't walk around every day thinking you have the analogy of you have to get there and lose one before you win one, but we're close.
Yep.
And this group that signed is talking about it already, and I think you have to talk about it. If you're not talking about it before you get there, I don't ever see it coming to fruition. The young ladies that came through this program before have set the bar high, and so now it's our job to keep getting to the dance.
National footprint too, right? I'm looking at Oregon, Arizona, Alabama. Obviously, Texas is a great place for golf. You did it all.
And Corton and I would both say, for us to do well on a national level, we need Texas junior golf to be strong. And it's there, but for us to be able to, go into Vegas, go into Alabama, go into Oregon, Pacific Northwest cranks out a ton of great golfers. That's going to make recruiting a lot easier going down the road, because the young ladies are having success here. So success follows success. And so hopefully our job is getting a little bit easier identifying young ladies that are a fit here.
Has the pitch, I don't know if change is the right word, but now it's a pitch with proof.
I think that makes it easier because it's not a sell.
Yeah.
There's a pitch, but it's more an education of look, this is what we have to offer. And I'm not one that I might call every other week. I don't really chase them down. We make an offer, it's yours until you tell us no. But I want people that want to be here, and that's usually how the process starts with us. Is you have to have an interest in us first, because if you haven't really done your research, I don't know if you're really going to truly understand this place. So these young ladies did, and no different than the great signing class we had not too long ago in football. It was just those kids were recruiting each other. Next thing you know, it builds into, I think, the number 1 recruiting class in the country.
So what does a recruiting class like this do for the current team? Because I'm sure they want to leave it at such a high level, and they want them to take the baton too. But it probably motivates this group a little bit.
Well, and this group is younger, and we got better every week. So it's you're bringing this into a nucleus of, as I said, great Aggies. We graduated 3 great players last year. You don't really replace that overnight. So this is supplementing what's already there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to have that innocence and that youth around you where there's excitement. Our job is getting harder because that goes away a lot quicker than it used to, because of all the distractions and all the things that are thrown at them. So it's no shame to the girls that are on this. We're excited about that excitement. So if this bunch can get excited as they are going in the spring, we're going to have a great spring.
So let's talk about the spring. I got about a minute and 20 seconds left. The fall, I feel like it was, you wanted to see more, but you did well.
Yeah, we played without Adela for a week.
Yep.
Nashville, we had one of the lowest rounds in school history. And then we had every chance to win that tournament in Fort Worth the last time we were out. And I think we should have. But it's a great learning lesson, and we take that stuff going into the off season on a high note. And what the young ladies choose to do between now and January will dramatically impact what we do this spring. And that's a choice that they get to make. So everything's right in front of us. The fall, we got a lot of reps, which is what it's designed to do. And our schedule is going to prepare us for SEC championship and hopefully a road to national championship.
How much fun are you having?
I'm having a lot of fun. I'm a sports guy.
Yeah.
And so it's fun being around all these successful programs. We've got a lot of great head coaches here on campus, learning from them, watching them. And my family really loves it here. And, now our daughter's in school and we're, growing in that. We went to our first Friday Night Lights. So that was cool. So we're having a lot of fun and, having a little one, I'm excited for the holidays.
Let's hang soon, all right?
Absolutely, brother.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with the fan show. It's TexAgs Live. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the
Fan Show.
Fan Show.
What's up, guys?
Good. How are you doing, bud?
I'm good. By the way, this is brought to you by Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to receive guaranteed $50 once you play in $5 lineups. Matt Browning, my man, what up?
Hey, man. Good morning.
Good to see you, buddy.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Hunter Shirtliff, hello, sir.
David. Hercules.
Let's
My
go.
boy went bird hunting. I love it.
My guy taught me.
Singular.
One bird.
Bird hunting.
Roy May, hello, sir.
Doing all right, man?
How's everybody?
Get you some tea with some lemon, maybe?
I need that. So yesterday I actually didn't feel great after the show. And this morning I feel fine.
I woke up yesterday, like, you have that feeling like, oh, man, I'm coming down with something. And by 1 o'clock, I was fine. I don't know what's going on. It's because, like, 56 at night, 83 in the day, my body doesn't respond well to that.
I have had allergies, and I did allergy shots for 2.5 years, and it actually semi-worked. It doesn't ever really work, though.
You want to know a really weird fact about me? I have one allergy. I'm allergic to Claritin D. I'm allergic to allergy medicine.
Is that right?
I think that makes me bionic.
That is an interesting thing.
It's literally my only allergy.
That is weird.
All right, so let's get started because I didn't get to talk to you guys last week. Bronny was in here. We'll go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Juanito, what do you got for us?
Hey, guys.
Looking pretty fresh with that collar setup, man.
I don't think your mic is on. Is it on? There we go.
Now it's on. Yes. So let's start with Hunter. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind, and I can't help it. First of all, I wasn't here last week, thank goodness, because I was super disappointed. Still disappointed. But this college football playoff, and y'all been talking about it this morning, it just blows my mind that it seems like the committee's just looking at the loss column, right? It seems like more than ever they're not looking at strength of schedule and the resume. Why is Texas number 3 in the nation? Because somebody this summer said, hey, I think they're pretty good. Let's put them in the top 5. And they just kind of stayed there, although they haven't done anything. They haven't beaten anybody. They're playing a bunch of backup quarterbacks. They played a third-string quarterback in Florida this weekend. And the one team with the pulse that they played, which is the most average Georgia team we've seen in probably a decade, blew them out of the stadium. I mean, their best win is against Vanderbilt. I mean,
And I'm not. I'm going to pick on Texas because I think that's way too high, right? But
you think they're a playoff team, though, right? So far, based on what?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to put them in the top 12 or get them in. But Penn State, I'm going to say the same thing. And Indiana, I mean, I'm going to give you credit for being undefeated, but it just feels like the committee's not. I know it's early. It doesn't matter. There's still football to be played, but they're not looking at the resume.
You throw BYU in there,
right? They're looking at the helmet and the blue blood bias and some wins. As long as you jack up wins, I don't care who it's against.
I mean, like somebody like BYU who's 9-0, right? All right, yeah, of course you've got to put them in, all right. But I mean, give BYU, I don't know, any of those schedules above them or below them.
I got one for you. Give A&M Indiana schedule.
Oh, we're
undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated, 100%. Give us BYU schedule, we're undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, give them our schedule, and they probably got 3 losses at least.
So
Utah got hosed.
So let me ask you this question, guys, because this is interesting. I don't want to. I'm not saying to leave the SEC. I'm not saying that at all. But in today's world, where 12 teams get in, does it make more sense to be in a Big 12 or an ACC if you're able to?
I think it does, and I think OU's going to kick themselves.
I
agree.
No, I don't think so, and here's why. Because if you're in the Big 12, right, you're going to get into the playoff possibly easier. But you're never going to win anything. I mean, we saw what happened the last time a Big 12 team really made it to a championship game. They got I don't remember how bad TCU.
But what if you are recruiting at the same level?
But you won't. That's the difference.
Well, Texas has. They've messed up.
They recruited at that level. Their recruiting spiked when they got the nod. They're going to the SEC. That's when their recruiting spiked.
But they still had a top 5 recruiting class. They were just getting the wrong kind of guys.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they didn't have the right coach in place. They've got it. They have a good coach in place now. They have talent. Don't get me wrong. But if A&M went back to the Big 12, for example, we might make it. We might be the best team in that conference. But the second we get into a playoff against it, with the amount of talent we'd be able to recruit as a Big 12 school. I mean, again, we've always said it. These recruits don't want to go and play it in Ames, Iowa. They don't want to play it.
My problem is, it's okay, committee, to say, hey, this 8-2 team is better than this 9-1 team, right? It's okay to say Tennessee's they played a tougher schedule. They have a better resume. If you're going to put somebody at number 3 that's 8-1, it's Tennessee.
Tennessee, I agree with that.
Right?
And I 100% agree too. And like I said, no one hates the SIPs more than me. But
who is a middle of the road SEC team, and how would they do in the Big 12 right now? How does Arkansas do?
I don't know. They're upper echelon.
I think so too.
I mean, yeah, I guess. South Carolina's probably dominating.
Oh, they're dominating the Big 12.
Yeah.
I mean, think about if Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma dominated that conference for years. I don't know if they really got a huge bump from they're saying, hey, we're going to the SEC. But I mean, if Oklahoma was still in the Big 12, they'd be a contender right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sad part.
I don't know.
Or the Big 12.
I don't know about OU this year.
They're bad. They are bad. They are very, very bad. But
historically OU.
But no one hates Texas more than I do. But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I would put that up against anybody. But I mean, if I will say this, like I was thinking this the other day, like if Texas wins, if they beat Arkansas and Kentucky, they're in. Period. Whether they lose to us or beat us or whatever.
I agree. A&M could beat them. They're going to have 0 solid wins, and they'll get in because it's helmet bias. I'm telling you right now.
Well, that and they're an SEC school with 2 losses, and then of course, but if we beat them, and then we go to the SEC championship game and somehow lose that game, now we're 3 losses. We're out, even though we beat.
Not necessarily.
That's the way I. This
committee will jack this up.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
They're going to put more emphasis.
Thank
you on the loss column.
Yeah, so that's what he's saying. Like, I don't agree. I would say that we're still one of the best. I mean, if you make it to the SEC championship game and lose in a close game, you're one of the 12 best teams in the country, no doubt about it. But I would agree with him and say that that's what he's saying is that he's right now what they've shown so far is that they are looking at the loss column is more important than what you've actually done. And if you've got 3 losses, even if it's a championship game, you're probably out.
Yep.
All right, Roy, what's on your mind?
A couple of things, actually. I'm going to do a shameless plug to start off, if you don't mind. This weekend is a big event for Bach Realty Group. It's our annual Jingle Bell Market. Big event, a ton of vendors. And I know I'm the biggest Christmas junkie in the world, straight up. Lights this early is a bit much for me, okay? Like I'm a day after Thanksgiving, put up the Christmas stuff, right? But this Jingle Bell Market, you can come out, support APO. It's Aggie Land Pregnancy Outreach. That's our big charity this year. Ton of vendors, really awesome stuff. I spend a lot of money at this thing every year. I try to work it and not, but I end up doing a lot of Christmas shopping. So it's at Pebble Creek. It's from noon to 4 on Sunday. So would love to see y'all come out, get your Christmas shopping started. It's for a great cause. There's stuff for kids. So it's an awesome event.
Yeah. So they sell some really, really cool stuff there.
Yep.
Like Christmas decor. Like you go in there, you find stuff that you didn't know existed that is really cool for the house. So I'm a big fan. We go every year. My wife loves it.
Yeah, there's an Italian pantry guy. I stock up on like infused olive oils and
they got
artichoke
food.
bruschetta.
Yeah, they got cool foods. They got cool decorations, everything. And Pebble Creek, the country club, does a great job putting
and there's food and drinks while you're there too as well. So it's a fun event. 2, man, the weather's changing. Everybody's in a good mood, right? Which is great because the slate of college football this weekend sucks.
Yeah. I feel like we've said that a few times this year.
This one's bad. So, like, I do a podcast and we pick 5 games to pick, and I pick them, and I just normally look through the top 25, the closest spreads, right? I'm not looking for something that I'm necessarily educated at. I want tight games to see if, to pick them. And the tightest spread is Kansas at BYU. Is that what we're talking about this week? 2.5-point spread, Kansas on the road at BYU. Everything else is like 2 touchdowns or more. SIPs are 14.5 points. So it's like, this is kind of a crappy weekend. Tennessee, Georgia, but now all of a sudden Tennessee may not have their starting quarterback. I mean, what does that do going into Athens, right?
But these everybody's have said that a couple of times this year, and this is and those weeks have been surprisingly
nice.
like upset centrals.
Well, yeah. So that's the one thing that we can all kind of hope for, and as we're all calling the Hogs for a couple hours on Saturday, at least for maybe 10.
How they get an 11 a.m. kick, by the way?
That's what they get.
That's not. We get South Carolina at night. They get 11 a.m. kick to renew a rivalry, a decades-old rivalry. That's one thing that we talk about. New Army doesn't understand kind of the rivalry with the SIPs, right? When what New Army also doesn't understand is the rivalry between Arkansas and Texas. That is a heated, like deep disdain rivalry. Arkansas has been waiting to hate them on the field for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I'll be watching that game.
But do you think players in today's era hold on to that? Like they all came from different, like transfer from different schools. Like it's
I still think
different mindsets.
Between Arkansas and Texas, though, I still think one of the massive battlegrounds for them is the Metroplex. And so these kids have played against each other in high school. And so there's still some of that there.
Yeah.
And I think that what they'll be able to do is feed off the fan base's kind of perception of the rival.
That's where I think. I mean, these kids know what's going on. Our players on campus, they hear the Texas chants, or talk on campus through old Ags at meetings, whatever. That they get it because that state. Arkansas, they just do not like them.
Yeah, and granted, the kids nowadays they didn't grow up with this rivalry. I mean, unless they were little kids the last time we played. So as this progresses going into the future, I think it will get more. But more of that.
I do think because A&M and Texas are relevant, there's been a lot of talk on social media, and that's where these kids live, right? They see how Texas tweets and how A&M tweets, and I do think, because it's been all season long a boiling point, right? That I think it will matter. Maybe not the way it mattered for us coming up, but it's the beginning. It's the birth of it.
I think we'll see a lot more of it on the field as opposed to in the stands. I could see it being a real chippy game, and I'm like, let's get in a fight at the 50 before the game. Let's go.
Just like LSU, because that's what happened there. Mateo, what's on your mind?
Oh, I mean, I kind of jumped in there and just stole the thunder. So same things. I mean, just looking into this weekend. My main thing is us having a good bounce back game. I am grateful that we have a pretty inferior opponent to come in and to help us kind of get that mojo going back. Another night game at Kyle, which is always fun.
Yep.
Get in there, get that mojo going, get the run game, figure out some pieces since we've lost we lost one of our biggest pieces. Figure out
maybe our biggest piece.
Yeah, maybe our biggest piece. But get all that kind of sorted out, figured out this weekend, going into a tough final stretch on the road at Auburn, and then back here for the big one. So that to me is that's the biggest thing. I'm if you're coming off a loss, and they've been sitting on this bad taste in their mouth for 2 weeks now, I feel kind of bad.
I mean, as a fan, and I know most of the SEC has these late season, non-Power 5 or Power 4, whatever we call it now, some of these cupcakes, right? I'm not a fan, but I get it. And it probably comes at an okay time.
No, I mean, I couldn't have. To me, it couldn't have come in at a better time. I mean, can you imagine going back on the road this week against Auburn? No, let's get us a warm-up game. Yep. Trying to fit in some new pieces, and especially after losing probably your biggest piece on offense, to get some things worked out on offense before these last two games.
Yeah, I mean, Reed needs more reps constantly. Yeah, we don't know what the running backs are going to look like. Yeah.
One more game to keep an eye on this week, and I forgot about it actually. LSU on the road at Florida. Number 22 LSU on the road at Florida. Florida's favorite.
Is it because Lagway's officially back?
It's got to be. Yeah. I can't think of any other reason for Florida to be favorite over LSU.
Oh, Lagway's back a week after they play the Horns.
Yeah.
After they played their third-string Yale walk-on transfer.
When you watch Lagway's injury.
It was like watching the Cowboys
against Georgia.
Terrible.
It looked like he was out for months.
Oh, I thought he was done,
right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he's actually going to be playing, I think, is interesting.
Yeah.
I want to ask.
Is Basantas, is he back this week?
I don't know if he's back this week. I wouldn't expect him back yet. I wouldn't expect that. Roy, I know you keep up with all sports. I think you guys do too, but I'll start off with you. Are you interested in this Ohio State A&M basketball game?
Yeah, actually, I talked about this earlier this week. I think we all saw, and it's early in the season, we all understand how, Buzz Williams teams, generally always improve. We wish they would start a little bit better, right? But, the loss to UCF was a tough opener to the season. But it's not like burn the barn down, right? Mm-hmm. Bounce back, perform like you're supposed to against the opponents that you're supposed to do it against. And now we have, coming up tomorrow, another really great kind of point, measurement point. And it's just, I don't know what to expect out of the game because, again, I know that Buzz teams are notoriously slow out of the gate. But this is a big one. It's at Reed, right? I loved them going on the road to UCF. I did. I thought that was a great way. Buzz gets it, man. He's after getting snubbed, it's not happening anymore with the non-conference schedule, right? So I love that this game is at Reed. This is an opportunity to put a big feather in the cap against a perennial good basketball program. Like Ohio State's good, and then on top of that, this is an opportunity for the 12th man to show up and read. Reed's not a basketball arena, man. Reed's an event center.
Yep.
So it's tough to make it a great environment. But, man, this is a great opportunity for the 12th man to show up and just blow the roof off the building, give these guys that energy. Part of that, when we watched the UCF game, play well, then all of a sudden it kind of felt like the gas came out, like the wind came out of the sails, right? And that UCF crowd got into it, and that UCF crowd drove their team to that victory. I'm a firm believer in that. UCF has got some great crowds. Smaller, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of just from living here and you're kind of everybody call. I mean, there's ticket interest. There's people want to go to this game. So I think it's going to be a good crowd. There's a lot of interest in it this early in basketball season. Not for me, right? But certainly a lot of interest.
Yeah,
He's honest.
Yeah, you've got a lot of folks coming in for the football game.
Yeah.
I mean, go to the game. Go to the game. Now, there is a lot going on tomorrow, though. So you've got a couple of things. First, you've got the
Tell me more.
You got Consol. So A&M Consolidated
Playoffs.
and CSHS are both in the playoffs. They both have home games tomorrow night. Home playoff games tomorrow night. Then hey, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we also got the big one. We got Tyson versus Jake Paul on Netflix. By the way, this isn't some sort of
free, right?
It's free if you got Netflix.
Dude,
so they're supposed to fight around 10 o'clock. So I'm going to hopefully get to the Consol game and go home.
And wait, Nuño's new buddy Roger Craig playing downtown at the Palace.
Is he
tomorrow
really?
night? Yeah, I mean, I know you got passes already.
I don't, but I'm about to do it. Just slide into the
Shoot him a
DMs.
text at the break, yeah.
Hey, honey, we got to go watch Roger. By the way, about that fight, I'm really worried because I've watched Tyson and everybody's like, look how good he does not look good in my opinion. He hits with power.
He still looks powerful.
But he is off balance. He's a 60-year-old man.
60 years old.
Jake Paul is a 25, 26-year-old steroid big dude.
Yeah, that's not.
I hope Tyson just gets him once and calls it a day, but it's not a good look.
You couldn't pay me $1 million to get hit by Mike Tyson.
What about by Jake Paul?
$1 million?
One
I'd
hit.
let Jake Paul hit me
Dude,
for $1 million.
oh no, please.
Just one time. I mean, I hope I'd survive it. And then
I've watched the training videos. Though Tyson's still bringing a lot of power. It's
power's the last thing
Did you see
that
the
goes.
Roy Jones fight 4 years ago? He was 52. I don't think he looked good.
I just don't think he can. I don't.
But
think he
are
can
y'all
catch
interested in this fight?
No,
not enough to miss it. A&M versus Ohio State.
No.
Yeah, what I would like to see if
I'll watch.
If I know
over
Tyson's going to knock him out, I'd be interested.
I mean, so you're telling me y'all aren't planning on sitting down and watching this
If
tomorrow
I'm
night?
home at that time, if I'm not watching my boy Roger, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
But here's the thing.
I'd go to Roger when he stole my girlfriend. And
I've
when I was in
watched
college.
too many of these gimmick fights. They're all gimmick fights. He told, what was that again?
Nothing.
These gimmick fights, all the same. He's fought these MMA. Like he picks these battles against guys he can beat. All right,
good story.
I'm going to hit a break here. Ground Shuttle, Brazos Valley's premier transportation provider. They offer frequent and reliable rides to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. They also offer private car service and charter service for game days. Any day, you can book your vehicle in their fleet to accommodate your group sizes and needs. Luxury sedans, full size shuttles, hassle-free way to get your group to sporting events and concerts. You can learn more at, God, this voice is horrendous, groundshuttle.com. That is groundshuttle.com. Let them do the driving. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Fan Show, brought to you by PrizePicks.com. Go to PrizePicks.com/TexAgs and use the password of TexAgs to keep playing the games and get the $50 once you play $5 lineups. Guys, I've said this on the show this week, and since this is the Fan Show, I want to get your perspective. I am more worried about Auburn than I am Texas. I will be worried about Texas the week that comes, but I am more worried about a road game in the SEC at a place that we have struggled than I am a home night game against a rival with potentially a SEC championship on the line.
Yes. So I thought about this week that we remember Mississippi State week. We were on the road in Mississippi State, and I was like, man, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, BAS! They got on to me about it, right? And I was like, so they're like, we're going to beat them just fine, and we did. We did win that game, but I had the little bit of BAS, and now. Yeah. Hey, had we beaten South Carolina, we'd be like, oh, it's fine, everything's going to be fine. But that's creeping back up a little bit, I think. I mean, to be worried about Auburn, who is actually good.
They have talent.
I'm worried. Again, I will say the one difference is that quarterback, our players aren't going to be bouncing off their quarterback like we did the South Carolina quarterback.
I agree.
He will go down. We will get the sacks that we were supposed to have gotten and should have won that game.
He's a little dinged up on his, non-throwing shoulder right now. But you're right. I mean, it's a night kick, road venue in the SEC against
at Auburn
at a place, right?
Really
it's sold
good
out.
one.
They suck and it's sold out.
Yeah.
So
I really like Jordan Hare, actually. I like Auburn.
I don't have BAS right now, but I'll be nervous next week, right? And they've already showed us this team we're super inconsistent, right? We'll beat Auburn.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. You need to focus on New Mexico State.
Well, I was going to say
what's happening at this table.
Hey,
you're going to lose if you guys don't focus.
Well, there's a text that came in. I'm glad you brought that up from Jerry, who said that. What did he say? He said Aggies are thinking way past New Mexico State. They're messing up one at a time. Get one right in front of you. Be thinking about Texas is too early. He goes on to say, never think past the next game. I don't care if it's Navasota Tech.
Well, we don't know what the team is doing.
Yeah,
we're doing that because we're fans. That's what we're
this is
supposed
the
to do.
fan show. Come on.
Yeah, we're
like the coach's show.
One of you idiots said start Wigman.
Yeah. Who did that?
It's like 10 bunch of idiots saying
that sounds
nonsense.
insane to me. I've already mapped out our entire road to the national championship, okay? So, I've already thought way ahead, but it's what the team is doing.
Look.
Well, here's a question for you to kind of piggyback off what you asked.
Sure.
If Texas plays Auburn 10 times, how many times does Texas win?
Oh, I don't.
7.
Majority of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Texas is the better team than Auburn. I think we can all admit to that, as much as it makes me want to absolutely throw up. Like, Texas is better than Auburn.
A&M is better than Auburn.
Yes, A&M is better than Auburn. So is there concern? Yeah, after what we did in South Carolina, I understand there being some concern. But like you said, man, Auburn's QB is...
Yeah, and at some point, right, just the way we have struggled the past few years, man, consistent. At some point, your record, you are who you are, right?
Guys, the last 2 times A&M has played Auburn, their quarterback play has been the worst that I've seen. 2 years ago, A&M lost at Auburn to Robbie Ashford, I believe. And he was horrendous in that game, and A&M lost. Last year, Peyton Thorne was horrendous, and he had actually a really good game the week after. I think it was against Georgia, if I remember correctly. He had a pretty good game a week or 2 after. But it doesn't seem to matter, their quarterback play. It's self-inflicted errors and mistakes that have cost A&M some of these games.
If you think back, even 3 years ago here, the Michael Clemens picked up, ran it back. We didn't score a single touchdown. We won that game.
20-10.
It was some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen out of Auburn. But we won that game, but we didn't score a single offensive touchdown.
That was a bit of an outlier. It always feels like the road team is the road team has the better record in this one. But again, so kind of going back to what you said, Hunter, like you are kind of who you are. All right, well, we're 3-1 away from Kyle, and we're 2-1 on the road.
Yeah.
So, okay. Like that should give you a little bit of confidence. We're better. We win more than we lose on the road away from Kyle. So
with something to play for. For us.
The SEC championship isn't on the line at Texas if it's not on the line at Auburn.
Oh, you're damn right. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Give me adequate quarterback play. Adequate. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to be, Heisman Trophy Marcel, right? Adequate quarterback play and tackle. You go to Auburn, you win.
Oh, yeah.
Those 2 things.
I think just tackling. Against that team. You can...
They can run the ball.
Yeah, they got Hunter's really good.
Hunter's really good.
That's what I'm saying. That's tackle. Just tackle.
They got wide receivers that can, yes, it goes back to what you're saying about tackling.
Yeah. And get in the backfield and disrupt that kid like we did I mean, we did what we were supposed to. They did everything they were supposed to do against South Carolina, except wrap up and pull someone to the ground.
Right, and that game is not going to. Again, it's not going to be a couple of mid-tier SEC also rans. I mean, this is A&M's playing for something big time, right? Big time.
I'm more concerned about the Texas game because sometimes the emotions of a rivalry can change the outcome of a game that it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Florida shouldn't have been anywhere near Georgia. And I get that this is not the Georgia team. But man, Florida's not very good at football, right? I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Yeah. And, man, Florida hung in there with them.
I tell you this about the Texas game. After what I saw from that crowd, from the LSU,
no, it's kind of – my daughter told me that the deck was bouncing and they were concerned.
Yeah, but that was mostly second half and pregame, right? Because it got a little quiet in that first half.
Quiet compared to the rest of the game. We were still hollering though. Yeah. I mean, that was
the best environment. Too.
You know, when you sit on the old folks section, I mean, they don't always yell, right? And they don't stand a lot. You know, especially middle of the road games. I mean, the student section's crazy the whole time. Good on them. But that game, they were. I mean, everyone around me was hollering. They were into the yells. We were doing everything. It was electric from the start.
I will say one thing about Auburn. Again, like you said, they sell out, man. They do. But as soon as if you can get that game going south, they'll leave.
Just like Florida. If you can do to Auburn what we did to Florida, and
that fan base is right. That fan base is beat down right now. Right, they're 2 years into the new coach. Things are not going well.
That's a shame.
But I just saw it. I mean, it was a month ago, but they'd sold the game out already. So
I mean, if you get out on them quick, they'll kill that crowd.
So go back to the tailgates.
And I'm pretty sure that's our last game because I want to say Iron Bowl's in Tuscaloosa this year.
I think so. Yeah,
I think that's right.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back. We're going to play the Prize Picks game right now. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. When you're looking for a truck, that's the place to go. When you're looking for any vehicle, that is the place to go. They got medium-duty trucks. They've got flatbed trucks. They've got it all. They're locally owned and operated by Aggie alumni. They have complimentary pickup and delivery for their service customers, free oil changes for the life of your purchase, as long as you own that car from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They have a very strong, committed sales staff with many years of experience satisfying customer needs. They are the ones that take care of you. It's about a 15-minute drive the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Welcome back to the Fan Show, presented by Prize Picks on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Your car wash tradition with the friendliest staff and our personal touch is back. That's Aggieland Express Car Wash. 2 locations, the one on William D. Fitch behind the Shipleys in College Station, the new location, 2528 Texas Avenue South in College Station, across from the Planet Fitness. That Texas Avenue location offers the full-service wash, which their team will take care of all the cleaning, the drying, the vacuuming, and ask about their 3 levels of full-service washes. We're going to give one away, a $40 value. The first caller at 979-693-1150, you'll get your Aggieland Express Car Wash full-service wash from the Texas Avenue location. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Matthew Dawson's joining us here for our Prize Picks section of the program. Hello, Mr. Dawson.
Well, hello. We're here to take more than or less than on player-specific squares in college football today. If you actually missed last week, Hunter wasn't here, so I actually had to penalize him for not getting his picks in. So I gave him just the worst record between the 3 of y'all, which was unfortunately Matt here, 5-7. So Hunter still is in the lead.
5-7 is good.
Look at that.
5-7, yeah, but it was the worst of the 3. Roy, I believe, went 6-6. David went 7-5. Matt, you went 5-7. So that leaves Hunter in first by 1 game over David, and then Matt and Roy are tied for 3rd right now. About 5 or so picks behind y'all. So
everybody gets a medal.
Everyone gets a medal.
Participation trophy.
Participation, which we love around here.
Back.
But in terms of Prize Picks news, if you're tuning into UFC 309 on Saturday, there's going to be discounts that afternoon. So
I might be watching.
David might be watching, and you can also play a little bit with some of those discounts. So they're pretty generous with their UFC ones. So
do you know who's fighting? Anybody know?
John Jones.
Tyson and
that's Friday. John Jones and Stipe.
Stipe.
That's how I say it, at least. All right, let's play the game.
Here we go. Quinn Ewers, is he going to have more than or less than 292.5 passing yards against Arkansas on the road?
Less.
Yeah, I'm saying less than, just because I think Arkansas's had a week to prepare. Taylor Green might be healthy. I hope he's healthy. He better be healthy. So I'm going to say less than.
Less.
Ooh, less than across the board.
What did you think?
Yeah, I'm with y'all on that. So that's kind of scary, though, when all 5 of us are kind of hive-minding this thing.
Thanks.
With the less than. So, but let's flip the page, though. Let's go to the Arkansas side. Taylor Green, is he going to have more than or less than 207.5 passing yards?
Less.
More than. They have to have him throw the ball to win.
I agree. I don't think he's healthy. I mean, they're listing him as probable. He's not that good. I'm going less than.
He threw for 158 against Ole Miss, 314 against Mississippi State, 240 against LSU.
Yeah.
It's just such a low number. I'll take more.
By the way, he threw for 279 yards against A&M. It was a pretty defensive game.
It was. And I feel like it'll be interesting, though, like how good is Texas's pass rush, too, if he is not very fully healthy. So it'll be interesting to see that. Jake Retzlaff for BYU. He's been playing good football this year, undefeated BYU. Is he going to have more than or less than 232.5 passing yards at home against the Kansas team? Like Roy mentioned before, it's a pretty tight spread there.
Less.
Less than.
I'm going more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
You know what? I'm going to... Damn. I'll go less.
All right. Well, then let's go over to Carson Beck, a guy who's not been playing great football. Georgia's squaring off against Tennessee.
I feel like this would be an easier pick if it was more or less on interceptions.
Yeah, 257.5 passing yards.
Less.
I'm going to say less, but I could see if Nico, what's the latest with Nico? Is he still TBD?
I think he's still TBD.
That could affect the game significantly in Georgia's offensive favor, but I'm going to go less than.
Which I get too, but that Tennessee defense, I don't see him yielding that. I'm going to have to go less.
Yeah, I'm less.
They've only let up more than 257.5 passing yards one time, and it was to Taylor Green. Arkansas won that game.
Carson Beck's playing like doo-doo.
Yeah, I'm on the less than too. I took that at 250 or 261 when that number was there. Let's get over to Clemson's side. They go on the road to play a Pat Narduzzi-led Pitt team. Is Phil Maffa, the star running back there, going to have more than or less than 107.5 rushing yards?
Less.
More.
This is actually just a touch under his average, so I'll take more.
All right, Hunter, you said less?
I said more.
More. All right. So, Matt, you have got a reason for being less than when the rest of the table is at more?
Guessed. Total guess.
He didn't even know they were playing Pitt until you said
Yeah, I mean, he's
say
he's running the ball well. Pitt's defense isn't great, so I like that pick.
Yeah.
Quinshon Judkins, running back for Ohio State, who's struggled the last couple weeks. His rushing number's at 70.5. Is he going to have more than or less that total against Northwestern?
Less.
I'm going to say less than as well. Although he did well against Penn State, if you look at his last 6 games, 32 yards, 29 yards, 23 yards. He did have 95 against Penn State. Less than.
Right. Look at the averages. He's not getting there. But I'm assuming the folks at Prize Picks know that Northwestern's, they're going to beat up on the weaklings, so I'm going to take more than.
Northwestern is 4-5 and not that great of a football team. I like to go more.
Does it change your thought, the fact that it's on the road in Evanston, Illinois?
No.
Yeah, but it's that little rinky-dink temporary stadium. So
It is, which has a greater impact. It's right on the water. Maybe windier day. Maybe their game plan is to run the ball more.
maybe run the ball.
I think their game plan is to run the ball. I think the game plan is to run the ball down Northwestern's throat because they're Ohio State and Northwestern is Northwestern.
Yeah, that's also pretty fair. Well, speaking of running the ball down people's throats, is Ashton Genty, the running back for Boise State, going to have more than or less than 193.5 rushing yards against a San Jose State team?
Less.
This guy's killing me.
He's done it 4 times this year. They've played 9 games, right? So that's almost half the year he's rushing for 200 yards. More than.
That's just 194 yards we're going for here.
Yeah.
I mean, our quarterback won't throw for that this week. I'm going to go more than because it's San Jose State, but good Lord.
I know nothing about San Jose State.
They're bowl eligible, buddy.
I'll give you some context. Ken Niumatalolo, right, was the old Navy coach
Love
there.
him.
This is his
Niumatalolo.
first year there. Anyone knows how to stop the run. It's potentially maybe him.
So he's at San Jose State.
He's at San Jose State now. After Brent Brennan went to Arizona, when Jed Fish went to Washington, when Caleb DeBoer went to
What do you
Alabama, when
not
Nick
know?
Saban retired. Well, that's the whole Jimmy Sexton effect.
You know what? I'm going to go with them selling out to stop him.
He knows everything.
Crazy.
I'm going to go with Ken Niumatalolo. I watched his Navy teams against my Army team plenty of years in a row, and you're right. They'll sell out against the run. I'm going to go less.
You never want to look better than your boss, bro. What are you doing? Stop learning everything.
You're fired.
I was just giving some context.
I'm just kidding.
Step into my office.
That's what I love about Matthew, because you're watching the game at the bar and there's dumb guy next to you is just throwing out wrong coach names and anyways.
Hey,
I love your
is it-
knowledge. I love your knowledge.
How is it being the smartest guy in a room every time you walk into a room?
I am not always the smartest person in the room. In fact,
Hey, TexAgs.
no, not.
You're pretty smart, dude.
No. Well, I
It's a good
appreciate
answer.
it.
It's a
But
good answer.
y'all are fluffing me up right now.
Hey,
Thank you, David. Hey,
fluff me, baby.
Oy.
Dylan Sampson, running back for Tennessee, is he gonna have more than or less than 89.5 rushing yards?
Less.
I think more because with Nico's injury, and this is probably going to come back and bite me in the butt, but I'm going to go more. I mean, I'm more than.
Yeah, he's good. I like Dave's analysis there. I'm going more than.
Yeah, he's averaging well north of this number. I'll go more.
Yeah, and if you were talking about Nico's injury, whether he's playing or not, is the game plan just to keep the ball on the ground?
I mean, he's had 149, 142, 139, 112, 138. Yeah,
and it's 25 carries, 30 carries.
Yeah, I mean,
35.
He's averaging over 120 a game.
He's not going to be, but the volunteer fan base is like, this guy needs to be in the Heisman conversation.
Yeah, if he gets 30 carries, all he's got to do is average 3 yards a carry there too. So
Which he'll do.
Andrew Armstrong, wide receiver for Arkansas, playing against Texas at home. Is he going to have more than or less than 75.5 receiving yards?
Less.
That was a big number.
Well, since
I see your strategy here, man. I'm starting to pick up on it now.
Is it just?
It took me a while. It took me a while to figure
Is
it
everything
out.
less that he's done?
Yeah.
Everything.
I got to change something. I got to do something different.
Hey, that's kind of what David did last week, and it worked out well.
I mean,
a lot of less than.
You had a
It's
lot
like
of
a
less
coin
than.
flip, all right?
I'm going to go more than because I already have Taylor Green throwing for 205 or whatever the number was.
Yeah.
207.
North of 207. Yeah.
So, and he's the guy that they throw to. So I'm going to say more than.
I'm going more than also, just because I think they're probably going to be behind and have to throw the ball.
Yeah, he's averaging 95 a game, 95 and change a game. So I'll take more.
Now, here's an interesting one that I threw out there just because it's a name we don't talk about a lot. The Chicago native Carnell Tate for Ohio State. Is he going to have more than or less than 39.5 receiving yards against Northwestern?
Less.
I thought you were going to switch me up or switch it up there, Matt.
More than.
I'm not familiar with Carnell Tate.
He's like their wide receiver 3, and I think it's an interesting
So I'm
conversation.
going to go less than. I don't like Ohio State's quarterback. So
Yeah, I'll go less.
Alrighty. I just thought it would be interesting because, you're
Just so
playing
Browning can't pick-
Northwestern. How does that? I was trying to challenge you guys just a little bit here.
Well, no, I'm just going less so that way Browning can't pick up any ground.
I'm going to give you a bit of analysis here. Not analysis, just stats. There's no analysis going on here. 56 yards receiving, 15. 102, 13,
So
52. So
he's all over the map.
What was it? What was his last game? Because it sounds like he's alternating.
56 yards.
Yeah, he's going for like 9.
Last week that was Purdue, so maybe it's those lesser teams that is racking it up.
And who are they playing this week?
Northwestern.
Are they a lesser team?
I would say so.
Considerably.
Unfortunately, it's a Chicago area native.
I'm about to take first place. Thank you.
Brew McCoy, the wide receiver for Tennessee, is going to have more than less than, ready for this, 26 and a half
Is he hurt
yards.
or something?
Hey, this one's hard, but I'm going less than.
Yeah, you kind of, it's tough.
That one's hard.
Because they spread it out, and who knows Nico's health,
Mm-hmm.
It's very,
I mean, he has not been good this year.
No, he's
Mr. 5-star, yeah.
I just made a noise like I ate a good meal. I'm going to say more than. That's 2 catches.
26 yards. That's low, but one game, I guess he's banged up. He didn't play. 2. I'm going more.
Yeah, the number's just so small, and I'll go more.
Browning's got a real chance here to.
His last game against Mississippi State, he had two catches for 12 yards. So,
all right, the last one here. Isaiah Bond, is he going to have more than or less than 55.5 receiving yards? That is the Texas wide receiver playing against Arkansas on the road.
I hope he has 2.
You know the answer.
I know the answer.
I'm gonna see how this works. If this works out, y'all are gonna be like, this might be the new strategy for you moving forward.
More than.
I'm going more than. Arkansas is just not good, and we're all going to be disappointed.
Yep.
I hate how accurate that statement is. Isaiah Bond is such a threat. I got to go more. That's literally one catch for him. The way he blows the top off the defense.
So this is what I've surmised. Either he's going to make an incredible comeback.
He'll be in first, basically.
Or us 3 are going to be nicely in a nice little log jam up top.
Yeah, and I'll be.
So Roy and David have each selected 4, of those picks as less than. Browning has 12, Hunter has 3. So if there are a lot of less thans, there is plenty.
It's the way you come back right here, boys. Or you get out. You're out for good. Either one, I'm going to be thrilled.
How many games behind?
He's 5 behind Hunter. He's 4 behind you.
Oh,
I could catch y'all. I could catch up. I just need a really good week. All right, I can use some prayers, folks.
All right, well, that's going to do it. That's going to wrap up our prize pick segment right there.
Literally, put it on your prayer list because it's a priority.
Browning's prize pick standings are very important. So,
great stuff, Matthew. Appreciate you very much, sir.
You got it.
All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Live, some final thoughts. But right now, we're talking about game week this weekend with the Association of Former Students, inviting you to the All Aggie Hullabaloo. Enjoy free drinks courtesy of Yiling, City Orchards cider, free sodas, Boots beverages, free Slovakic sausage, and free barbecue samples from Swope's. You can also do the pregame shopping at Vendor Marketplace with CC Creations, South of Kyle, Major League Madison, Kona Ice. There's also going to be a fun zone with games and prizes for kids. Plus, if you have questions about your Aggie ring or need to resize, you can check out the Aggie ring office, who's going to be open throughout the event. The All Aggie Hullabaloo begins at 3:45, and admission is totally free. You got to register, though, tx.ag/AAH6. Check it out, tx.ag/AAH. It is the final segment of TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center for the Fan Show, brought to you by Prize Picks. All right, Juan, you got some text for us?
Let's see. Well, there's a question coming in for Roy. We're asking about the Block T Adidas jacket you've got on.
We'll send him the answer off air. Give us Chase. I think Chase is he's still a member of the Fan Show. He just hasn't been here in a while. What does he have to say for us?
Chase is saying...
I'll read it. Nobody loves gambling prayers more than God.
Yeah.
Chase always with a
Thanks, Chase.
winger.
Appreciate that.
We miss Chase. All right, guys.
Fan Show Emeritus.
Yeah, he'll be back. Let's close out with what we want to see this weekend. All right, everybody give me a thought. We'll start off with Roy.
I want to see what we do at running back, and I want to see a really deep rotation at running back. I want to see some guys that I don't know the names of, kind of thing. This is tryout week, man, because you can do it for 2 weeks in practice, but this is, and I get that it's not like some massive opponent, but it's a different helmet, it's a different jersey. They're coming at you full speed. It's game speed. So I want to see a real healthy rotation of running backs, and then obviously I just want to see form tackling.
Yeah, tackling be good. I want to see Marcel control the offense, not just, hey, it's not there, I'm going to scramble, kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's not running the offense. That's part of his game. But against this opponent, I want to see him be good in the passing plays, make good reads on the zone reads, and have a really good game. And hopefully, he's coming out in the third quarter.
Yep, I agree.
And for me, I mean, it's crazy to say this because they've been so good all year, the defense at tackling, that we had, I want to see him tackle. I want to see him tackle and get these guys on the ground. And then I'd like to see us throw the ball downfield a little bit.
Yeah.
Did we have any pass plays downfield?
Marcel chunks it down there.
He does, but we didn't have any against
they
South
weren't
Carolina.
connected to South Carolina.
Yeah, so I'd like to see a little bit of vertical passing game.
Yep. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
kidding.
We've had
no injuries.
No injuries, and just get guys out early, right? Get it up to an early lead and get out early.
Yeah, get the whole D line out by the third quarter.
0 sacks would be nice to see. This is the kind of opponent that you shouldn't give up a sack to.
I'd love to see Connor play, not because he has to play, because we have a nice lead, right? Because his story is not over, right? Like, you never know when you may need him in a situation. And again, you got to get some reps as a quarterback.
Yeah, I would take the more than one pass for Connor Wigman this game. That guy's going to play.
Yeah,
we're going to be up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Live. What are the chances my voice is gone by tomorrow's show? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
You sound like when you got a bad connection and on the cell phone, you only get this fluttering reception.
This happens once a year on the show, and it's got me.
We're gonna get him a guitar and cut a song right now because he's got that rasp.
Dude, I'm gonna go see my boy Krager. That's what I'm gonna go do.
It's gonna be a backup singer.
That's my guy. If I went up to him and said, "Hey, Roger," he'd be like, "Who are you?" All right,
what's your girl? Not Browning's guy.
we're going to. I heard that story. All right, we're never that far from Mexico, guys. All right, we're gonna hit a break here. We're gonna call it a show tomorrow on the program. Billy Lucci, Steve, and Seth McKinney. We'll have SEC Mike. We'll have Olin Buchanan. There might be something else I haven't thought about, so keep it there. That's going to do it for the program. Thank you so much for everybody watching. Our thanks to David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance, of course, the Angry Elephant, Nick Savage in the back, and Juan Marcos over there. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you mañana.